Three letters, say it all. WCW, where the big boys play. Once again, this is King Hippo, and this is the West Coast Warzone podcast. Now, I'm with my usual guests, Winter Chef.
Hello.
And Blind Ducky.
Hi there.
But today we have someone else joining us. Someone else I know very well from Arizona. It is 4x4lo8o.
How's it going, guys?
He's not actually in a closet, although he might sound like one, so he'll do his best.
Is it really that bad?
It's not that bad.
Okay.
Alright, so in lieu of any major tournaments that happened this week, we'll start by going down what happened at Wednesday Night Fights this week. Chef, tell us about that.
Well, I bombed out. That sucked for me. I went like 0-2 this week. That was not a good week. Yeah, I know.
You got a bye, it's okay.
I did get a bye, so I didn't get straight last place, but I lost.
Come on. Bye kind of sucks. I mean, he has been doing very bad in all these tournaments. He starts in the losers bracket.
Bye didn't get last place last week.
Really?
Yes. I believe Bye outplaced Godspeed last week.
Good lord.
Damn.
So Bye's not that bad. Bye has beaten an Evo top 8 player.
Right, that's what I was saying. So you think Bye could get Evo top 8?
It's very possible. And I did beat Bye this week, so it's not that bad of a loss for me. But no, I lost to US Big Boy, who's Slayer's training partner, and I lost to Immortal Angel, who's Scorpion of SoCal. So it was not my best week, but we had a bunch of people that usually aren't in Wednesday Night Fights used to come. They came back, like what's her name, Osmo, P-Board, US Big Boy. But let me see if there was any interesting upsets. Steve and Brad fought early as usual.
Did Brad get fifth again?
Yes, Brad got fifth again. We need to make a new segment on our show called "Did Brad Get Fifth at Wednesday Night Fights?" And
we need a jingle.
Keep track of how many weeks in a row he's gotten fifth at Wednesday Night Fights. So I believe it's 3 in a row right now.
Good God.
Poor Bradley.
Poor Brad.
How are you so consecutively pretty good?
I don't know. I feel bad for him. I told him last week, too. I was like, dude, you're going to break your curse next week. And he didn't.
Oh, you liar.
He could have gotten any place but fifth, and I would have been right. But
wow.
He got fifth again.
Now I'm starting to think he did it on purpose just to spite you for saying that.
I know. No, the funny thing was he was up against Theo in the match. Loser gets fifth. Winner gets higher. And he bodies Theo the first game, right? Just absolutely bodies him. And he's like, wow, I could beat Theo and break my curse. And
should have said it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not how it turned out. So.
Poor Brad.
Yeah. He went poopy.
In lieu of jinxing him, I'll say he might break it next week.
we support you, Brad.
We do.
You can do it.
That hair is first place.
Dude, his hair is always first place in our book.
That's true.
What about me?
It's alright.
Do you have a gif of your hair, Ducky?
Brad doesn't.
Whatever, he's got pictures.
Well, I have pictures too, kind of.
I don't want to see the kind of pictures you have.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that he has pictures. It kind of bothers me.
They're pretty, though.
They're not.
You're pretty.
That's a compliment. Just say thank you. And
I will say thank you, and we'll move on.
Or he will continue. Anyway,
okay.
It was a pretty normal week. Theo first.
Didn't the stream go down for a long period?
Yeah, the stream kept going down.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
I think I was watching, and then I jumped out after that.
Yeah. I could have done a better job. I don't know why it kept going down. The sound was cutting out.
Well, yeah, the sound was dumb. It was bad.
I'll try to have it fixed for next week, but
better.
Yeah, Theo first place. He reset it against Slayer in Grand Finals, and I think it was Nubcake's third. I think, yeah.
Nubcakes. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty typical Wednesday Night Fight.
Yep, the usual. There was kind of a lot of anger this Wednesday Night Fights.
Anger?
Yeah. For instance, Tyrant lost to Steve and seemed very angry about it.
Ooh.
And then when Steve lost to Theo, Red Reaper was in the back saying, he was like, oh, in true Red Reaper style, he was like, you should just pick Martian in that matchup. It's not that bad. and Steve got really mad. He popped off on Red Reaper. He popped off on him, like, started yelling at him, saying like, "Oh, dude, why are you giving me advice when you lose every week?" and blah blah blah. And
who pops off on Red Reaper?
Yeah, that seems random.
I said if there's anything you should pop off on him for, it should be for using K's instead of C's. But unfortunately, that was not even mentioned. I'm kind of disappointed in that.
How are you going to pop off and not mention that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give Red Reaper a hug to make him feel better. It'll be okay.
That can happen in SCR. Oh, and then Slayer was really bummed at the end when he lost to Theo, because he beat Theo, I think, the first time, and then Theo reset it on him, and he was really, really bummed. Like, why can't anybody else beat Theo? Why am I the only one who has to beat him? And there was a lot of unhappiness. Brad wasn't happy because he got 5th again.
Of course.
Yeah. It was not the cheeriest of Wednesday night fights.
Cheeriest. Well, it's too bad to hear.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll all be washed away eventually.
Yeah.
Give people shirtless pictures of Brad and it'll be okay.
Wait, so Slayer was upset because he got second and no one else took out Theo for him?
Yeah, because he
He's
loses
the only one who
to
beat
Theo a lot.
Theo?
Yeah.
Gotta beat him.
Yep, I mean, that's how it is. If you want to win, you got to be able to beat everybody twice, basically.
Yeah. I think maybe it's frustration, maybe trying to sell one because, I mean, Theo's been what? That's like his 3rd one in a row or something?
2nd or 3rd. I don't remember exactly. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, Slayer can do it. He's beaten Theo many times. So I don't know why he feels bad about losing to him.
I don't know.
Just the usual meta down here in SoCal.
That complete meta.
The complete meta.
Complete meta. Oh boy.
Well, we might as well let the cat out of the, or we might as well talk about that. I mean, it's been all over the forums this week. Complete meta has gotten over pretty good, but hasn't gone over well with 16-bit, that's for sure.
All the salt.
Well, I mean, I don't know. 16-bit's trying to turn it into something that it's not, I think. I mean...
He's overreacting. I
mean, it's really hard to argue that they're missing a lot of characters, you know, over there in Chicago.
But what's missing a character? Like, when you say that? Like, I think the clarification on that, like, if they're missing character, what does that mean specifically? Like, no, I know obviously it means, okay, so there's not players that play Superman. Right. Beyond that, though, is that like a comment about their scene in particular, like they're not prepared, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, they basically just don't have people that play a lot of characters compared to a lot of other scenes, you know, and a lot of those characters do happen to be top tier. But a lot of people are taking that from me, you know, they're thinking that I'm saying, oh, GJ sucks, you know. That's not exactly what I'm saying.
I think what happened was you were talking about that, the incomplete meta, and then you transitioned from that into talking about the whole feud between Phil Pops and Cage. And, like, you just didn't transition very well. So it sounded like you were talking shit about them for talking up their scene, that had something to do with the incomplete meta. Okay. That was what I got when I listened to it.
That could be part of it, but that wasn't what I intended. They're separate things. I mean, I'm not talking shit on them for not having all the characters, but I do think that is something that's true, and it's really hard to argue. But I am sort of talking shit on them about the Cage thing, but that's completely separate.
Yay.
Yay. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that they are missing characters, like, more so than more other scenes? Or?
They have Superman now, because Saucy Jack picked him up or something, or whatever. I don't know.
But he lost to a Lobo. Come on.
That matchup's kind of bad.
Well, he changes characters a lot anyway, doesn't he? He might not even
no, it's obvious he picked Superman as a joke at the whole incomplete meta thing. It wasn't like a serious thing. No, whatever.
Well, I mean, it's like you said, it's not really arguable that the best guys use characters that aren't considered, like, the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, if they're there in some form, which they think they are, I think they are. I mean, there's definitely Martian Manhunters. I think there's a Batman, you know, and Aquaman. You know, and I don't know if they're, you know, how good they are or not, but I think then just them being there alone is enough. Like, you get to understand, okay, this is kind of how it works, even though obviously it's going to work different against a much more accomplished one. But you get the idea of how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. I mean, there are some characters that they just don't have any of completely. Like, some weeks they don't have any Aquaman players, and some weeks, like, I mean, there obviously are no Superman players. There are 2 Martian players. They do have, I mean, Jeremiah secondaries him, and Pim and J plays him sometimes, Pim and Jim. Who else are they missing? I mean, their GL's there every, like, once in a blue moon. I don't think they have any bad
Once in a green moon, please.
I'm sorry, once in a green moon.
I think one of the guys there picked up Batgirl recently or something.
No Zods.
The Truth.
Yeah, I think he started playing here.
The Truth is also, I think, their only Batman. And no offense to the Truth, he's not quite the, you know, the best player out there. You know, no offense to him, I'm sorry, but you know, he's the he I would be offended for that if I was him. But he's the only Batman and the only Batgirl that they have, I guess. So, as far as I know, they're characters. You know, I'm not saying that like any scene has a completely perfect meta. Oh yeah, Sinestro too. I forgot about Sinestro. And I'm not saying any scene has a completely good meta, but they're lacking some characters out there. But I'm not trying to put them down.
I think what you're talking about with the incomplete meta is sort of true. Is like the Injustice scene as a whole. Like think about Superman. He's like super top tier still. I mean, I think most people agree about that. But who plays Superman now? Like Slayer. He's like the only one. And that's why we don't see Superman in any of these tournaments, because there aren't any. And again, like we were talking last time, that affects the meta. There's all these characters that use Superman pretty badly still. They just never have to worry about running with Superman. And then, I don't know. That helps the top 8 be more diverse. It looks good. But.
Yeah, I mean, there just really aren't a lot of Superman players out there. It's weird, considering how good he is, you know?
He's still stupid.
No, I haven't. I've been thinking about this for a week now. And I thought of something. I would argue that because of the somewhat limited player base that games like Mortal Kombat and Injustice have had, that's a big reason, I think, why we don't see a lot of quote-unquote top-tier characters. I mean, look back at MK9. Towards the end, there was a lot of Cabal players, but for a while, there wasn't a ton. There wasn't a lot of Kenshi players. There wasn't a lot of... there was Kung Lao players, definitely, but top Cyraxes weren't a lot of those. You know?
I don't know, I feel like there were a lot of Cyraxes.
Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of Cyraxes out there.
I think there was a good amount of everybody in MK9.
Well, I'm saying I thought it was more towards the end, though. Like, as the game fleshed out.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, how far are we into this game? I mean, like, if you think about, like, February 2012, we had a good amount of Cabals, right? We had a good amount of Cyrax. There's not too many. I mean, Crazy was on Cyrax, Maxi was on Cyrax. You know, I mean, we had at least 2 good, you know, real good Cyrax players. I don't even know about Kenshi, to be honest. I don't remember back then.
Wasn't a lot.
But I mean, I don't know, it seems spread out better.
It's possible. I don't know, I feel like, you know, early on, game's still not like, it's not like a year old. It's almost a year old, but it's not quite a year old yet. This hasn't really fleshed out yet. You know, there's not a huge incentive to play. Like, I have to absolutely stack myself to win all the time. It hasn't really set in yet. And I think that will over time, and it does in a lot of games. And, you know, obviously if there was, you know, huge prize money on the line or something like that, I think it would consolidate a little more. But still, at the same time, I think that's a big reason why you don't see a lot of big shift to a lot of people playing these really top-tier characters.
Yeah. I mean, we discussed most of this, I think, the last time we were around. I just think with this time we should just clarify, you know, like, I wasn't saying GJ's bad or anything, which 16-bit is implying that I'm saying that, but it's not true. I'm just pointing out that they do have a really strange, different meta, you know?
I think 16-bit was upset that you said that GJ talks too much.
I mean, they sort of do. I mean,
they do.
They talk quite a bit. I mean, look at him right now. Like he always has to be the one to judge everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of like that guy. I mean, look at the scalp thread. Look at all the stock threads. And
if you talk this much shit, you have to place this high at a tournament. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff.
I mean, he posted an entire video to call someone out. I mean, that alone is talking a lot. You know.
It also doesn't help that he's just everywhere. He's got this podcast that everyone listens to. He's all over the forums. He's on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You watch Major, he's on the stream commentating, stuff like that. His voice is disproportionately large. He makes it seem like GGA as a whole talks more. He's everywhere talking about. He talks enough for all of GGA.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, definitely there are a lot of people in GGA who don't like nearly at all. Like, look at Pim Jim doesn't talk almost at all. Jeremiah, people like that, you know. So I guess it is mostly 16-bit. Shouldn't have probably overgeneralized like that. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. I think if you clarify it that way, then it has a little more of a target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like if someone just all of a sudden said Arizona talks too much, they probably wouldn't mean all of them.
They would mean Sal.
Yeah, probably.
And he's kind of disappeared lately. At least on Test Your Mind, it seems like I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, me neither. All's quiet on the Western Front.
That was a good book. Whatever, I liked it. Fuck you, I read it in like sophomore year. I liked it.
Sophomore year?
Yeah.
World War I is underrated.
I agree. I want World War I games.
A lot of Cabals.
Oh god.
A lot of Cabals back in the day.
I wouldn't want to get talking about.
What's that?
We're talking about World War I still?
What book are you guys talking about?
So All Quiet on the Western Front is a book.
Oh, it's a book. Oh.
Also made into a movie.
Oh. What,
it was made into a movie. About the horrors of World War I. And poisonous mustard gas.
That sounds like fun.
Should turn you into a Cabal-like figure.
Yeah, man. You get fucked up.
If it was mustard gas, wouldn't it turn you into a Cyrex player?
Why didn't I see that one coming? I loved how they were named Mustard and Ketchup. Like, that's such a genius idea. Like, you can't name a character. Like, I can't believe they didn't even just go with it. Like, call them Mustard and Ketchup. See what happens. What would Smoke be then? Because he's not anything. Like, if they were drawing him up, they're like, Mustard, Ketchup, and...
Pepper?
Welch's.
Pepper.
Pepper, yeah.
Pepper could work.
Because he's kind of like gray, right?
Yeah.
Cyber Smoke. He's kind of a gray, blue. I always thought he was blue back when I was a kid, but that's just, I think, the way the game was. Is Cyber Smoke even in MK9? Like, is he even in the Challenge Tower?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I remember there's Cyber.
There's a cutscene in the story where Raiden sees the future, whatever, or how it was supposed to happen, and you see Cyber Smoke. It's just a grayed sector for like a split second. It's just like a picture. But
that's
like
right.
The closest, yeah, that's the closest thing to it.
I like Cyber Smoke. I think he should come back.
They should have given him a skin for it.
I mean, for God's sake, anything's better than that hair.
Oh yeah, that hair was bad.
What do you even call his hair? Like, it's not, because it's not actually hair. It's like wisps of, I don't know. He needs a new stylist, period.
I wonder what his pubes look like.
Oh my god. Alright, so we'll move on before we have any more talk of pubes.
Before we get arrested.
Before we get arrested, because isn't Dougie like 6? This is underage.
Yeah, something around that age.
That's what I thought.
I'm a little boy.
So Lobo, 4x4lo8o, if you guys don't know, is an Ares main. He's pretty dedicated.
That sucks.
It does suck.
And Ares is a character you actually don't see a lot of. He's kind of a fixture in the East Coast tournaments with like Mr. Aquaman. But we actually, Ares isn't a character that really gets talked about a lot. So I'll give the floor to him. Open up. What does he think about Ares, and what do you think he could do better in, and stuff like that?
What do I think about Ares? I might actually be done with Ares. This might be a bad time to, I don't know, have me in the podcast talking about him. I picked up Bane recently, and I'm having a lot of fun with him. But yeah, Ares kind of sucks. He has some problems. A lot of them.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah.
I thought he was top tier. I mean, he's got a teleport. I mean, that means that means you can't zone him. So like that already makes him top 10, right?
Axe, that hitbox on Axe, man.
Oh, that's right. You can't even jump it. That's broken. So okay, what do you think? What do you think if you had to choose, say, the 3 biggest problems that stopped Ares from being competitive? What would they be?
His lack of anti-airs, I feel like, is a big one. He has, I don't know, his down 2 is alright, like it's usable, but it's slow, hitbox isn't great, it's super negative on block, you have to have like space perfectly to use it, and his jump 1, you can do the air-to-air jump 1, but it's really hard to convert off that. Like, it's completely inconsistent, it depends so much on the spacing and how you hit it, so sometimes, like, if someone just wants to jump in on you over and over again, you can just anti-arm with jump 1 5-6 times. They don't even care because they hit you once, and they've got all that damage back. They made it up. And so I don't. That's one of the things I was impressed about. People just jump on me all the time, and you just don't feel like you can do anything about it. His mobility, I think, is a problem. GL players like to complain about their mobility. I think Ares has it even worse. At least they have a good walk speed. And they have good space control, like in back 1, footsie tools and stuff like that. Ares, in matches where he can't zone, like the character's teleports like Martian Manhunter, he has to work his way in. His walk speed is terrible. His dashes are terrible. Then he gets up close, and just doesn't have footsies. He can't do anything.
All right, those all 3 make sense.
How's back 2 footsies? Isn't back 1 kind of decent-ish?
Back 1's kind of decent. It's kind of slow. The hitbox is pretty low priority, like it loses to lots of other stuff. But yeah, it's a decent footsie tool. It's definitely the best thing it has. It's not a terrible thing. And the other problem, I'd say, is conversions. His overall damage. His damage, like, it's easy to look at him and think he has good damage. Like, the corner is really good. Off of a jump 2, he gets like 50%. But there's so much other stuff. There's like odd conversions and punishes where you land a hit and then you can't do anything. Or you need sword to do something and you don't have sword. Or whatever. There's lots of punishes you just can't get because his down 1 and standing 1 don't have the range, and then 2, his standing 2 is too slow. Things like that. Any kind of air juggle he just gets really bad damage off of. Because you need sword for all his launchers, and if they're already juggled and you use sword, it just pushes it far away. So you'll get like a couple hits into sword and a fireball.
Which does like 15, 20%.
It depends a little bit what kind of starter you get.
So, okay, if you could give, now, opposite that, if you could give Ares 3 specific buffs to make him viable, what would they be?
Oh, this is hard.
If you have to do more than 3, just say it.
Yeah. I don't know, there's some fixes, sort of. I think I might get them first. Like, one thing is his down 1, the hitbox on it is really low. So it tends to go under, like, the floaty characters.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, yeah, against Raven, Duffy probably knows this.
Oh, yeah, my friend plays
like,
there.
If you don't compare to, like, just like, I don't know, Nightwing, some character just stands there, the max range is down 1, then compare it to the max range is Raven. Raven is just, like, half the distance, maybe less. And then the other problem is lots of moves, even for characters that aren't floaty, like they raise their hitboxes, stuff like that, so you'll try to punish, you'll try and like interrupt something and you should get it, and they just go over it. Like against Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, like, she'll do like a back range, or a full range, max range back 1, you can block it. And then, you're guessing if she can do frame trap or go through 50-50. You guess the 50-50, so you're trying to interrupt it with down 1, and she'll get a back 2, and you'll just go over your down 1. So there's nothing you can do. Block with back 2, I guess. You make the right read trying to interrupt, and you can't do it, she floats over it, that kind of thing. I think they should fix that. Like, I feel like that'd be easy too, just make the hitbox on down 1 not directly match his little toe that sticks out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's a problem in the corner where his crate drifts off screen. And it's not a huge deal, I guess, because corner damage is already really big anyway. But it makes certain strings, so I'd like back 1, if you back 1 into down 4, it'll whip. so you can't launch off. So you lose his one of his biggest pussy tools in the corner. So those are fixes I'd like to see. As far as stuff that specifically buffs, I think there's a lot of things you could do. It's less obvious what you need specifically. Obviously, some kind of anti-air. Maybe buff is down 2 again. I don't know. Faster back 1 would be good. Because that would help, at least when you get in. You're so slow and you work your way in. His back 1. It's a 15 frame forward advancing move. That's pretty slow as far as forward advancing moves in this game go. Something faster there could help.
Yeah, I don't think 15 frames is that bad for a move like that. Like, Raven's back 2 is 16 frames, and that's one of her best.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is what you get off of it. You have to, if you want a combo, you have to do back 1, down 4. And that's not hate control. You have to commit to that. And that's interrupt. So if you do that, they can interrupt that. And potentially combo. I don't know, it doesn't happen that very often, but potentially they can. You're going to down 1 punch, they read that. And then if you commit to back 1, 3, it launches in full screen, which is the opposite of what you want. And you get, I think it's like 15%, something like that. So, like, for what it does, I feel like it could be faster.
Poor Ares.
Alright, so then, where exactly would you all place him on your theoretical tier lists?
Bottom 5.
I think it's probably bottom 5 for sure. I don't know enough about the other low tier characters and how they do against the rest of the cast, to say precisely where he goes compared to them. But I know, like, I look at my matchup chart. He does not have very many winning matchups. I feel like his matchup chart looks similar to like Baraka or something like that from Gen 9. Baraka's a terrible character. No one would argue he would be good. Probably bottom 3. And I don't know about some of the closer characters or what their matchup charts are like, and I don't want to argue about that. But
I would agree with probably round
you might only have 2 or 3 winning matchups.
The worst characters, definitely.
Well, let's look at it a little bit more closely. Like, what do you think, Joker or Ares? Who's better?
At least Ares has a dumb wake up. Like, at least he has one.
Well, no. To be fair, Joker's back forward 2 is a really good wake up. It's plus on block, has a really good hitbox, and it's fully invincible. The Aster Flower.
Oh yeah.
Cross up setups can blow it up though.
Sometimes it hits you anyway. It hits like right behind his head.
The one I have with Raven destroys it.
Okay, that's
so whatever.
Fine.
I don't care.
I'm just saying he's getting a wake up too.
I don't know. I think a teleport wake up is better than that because you can't meter him back 3 through a teleport. So
I agree. Teleport wake up, especially with the buff, the new far teleports. That was a really smart buff to get Ares on a wake up that helped a lot. Before his wake ups were terrible, like he was just completely free to cross ups. If you all his wake ups, you mess up your teleport, you just get full combo. Now he at least has that. You can get out of the corner, things like that. It is a very good wake up. It helps a lot in matchups like Bane, especially. Like I'm pretty sure he beats Bane just with the teleport wake up.
Huh. Okay, then are we saying maybe Ares is better than Joker?
I think he could be.
It's possible because it's kind of hard because at least Joker has those really good jump-ins, like
and resets. That's what I'm thinking about. That makes me think Joker could be better. I mean, I don't know, but
this is important, guys. If we don't know if Ares or Joker is better, how are we ever going to know about this game? How are we ever going to be good players?
That's a good point.
Like, this is probably the most important discussion we'll ever have on this podcast.
I always thought about, and I'm going back to the Ares buffs.
Mm-hmm.
There was one buff that I would give him above all else, and you could see how it works, and you might not even have to give him any more after that. Is make his down sword, like the sword that launches you, make it launch immediately straight up, like not like up and kind of away, like straight up every time.
So if you hit him with a raw down forward, you can actually combo?
Well, if you hit him air to air, for example. So you say you hit jump 1, and you do like 1-1 sword. you could always land back 3.
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
That would increase his conversion damage immensely. Because to me, that's a big deal. Like, if you can't convert an air-to-air attack or down 2 trade into reasonable damage, that kind of sucks. Like, a lot of the bad characters, to me, have that in common.
Yeah. Actually, another really good buff I think they could give him would be to just make his trade recharge faster.
I think that would be
right now, it's 9 seconds. I don't know why it's that long. Like, why is it longer than Superman's trade? I mean, he needs it to combo.
Would you be opposed to having the trade on projectiles? Like, if his trait trades, it goes away. Like, you know how it already is that.
Yeah, if they got rid of that, you mean?
Yeah.
That would make him a lot stronger. That would help a lot. It would make Axe much more useful. Just again, because you can trade, it'd be more threatening. Right now, there are a lot of characters who just can't use it. Like Deathstroke, you know this. I pull out Axe, you're just like low shot, you don't do it. And even other characters, like Deathstroke does have a lot of people saying, but like Green Lantern, I can pull out Axe, and from a lot of ranges, you can just fire your projectile on reaction and stuff the Axe.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks for him being a character who has like projectiles pretty much like as attacks.
Yeah.
To not have a projectile that works that great.
If you improve the recharge time on trait, that also the added bonus of it helps with his mix-ups because he gets those more often, and his damage. You can use Axe. Like there's lots of combos and stuff like that where you can use Sword at the end of the combo for a few more %. So you can do that more often without this idea of, I use this. I use my Sword for only like 2%, and I don't have it later if I need it for a punish or something. And it also improves his zoning.
Right.
Okay, let's get radical here. Would Ares be OP? Would this be wild to think of this? If there was zero cooldown on his trait.
I don't think that'd be that OP.
As long as it doesn't do something ridiculous to his combos. Where he uses 6 swords. But I don't think that would happen. Just the way the sword works, you'd probably never get more than one in a combo anyway.
Yeah, what if swords were
do something with
down
gravity
2s?
Flats or something. Yeah.
Maybe for down 2s where the second one always launches them real low.
Yeah.
Because would that make him OP? Because he needs swords for combos. Without swords, he's got nothing pretty much.
His zoning with as many swords as he wants. Sword is really fast.
Yeah, he'd be one of the better He'd have one of the better projectiles in the game at that point.
But how is the recovery on it? Because there are fast projectiles. Joker. Look at Joker. He has a very fast 8% projectile that can trade still, and it's still not OP because you can just duck it and move, and then duck it and move.
The recovery's not that good. It has to go all the way off the screen. Mm-hmm. Travel full screen and be gone before he recovers. So especially if you use it close up, it's full combo punish, they duck it or whatever. You would never. I don't there's some characters get frame trapped or something if you jump their projectile, but they have another projectile on the screen. Ares can't ever do that.
Okay, so
yeah, it might not be that good.
Plus, if you trade with it, it would still go away. Like Superman's.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Because we're just looking at how to make Ares not so terrible, but something like that could work. Because also, what I've noticed personally is have you ever used standing sword as an anti-air?
I do try to use it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of character dependent because some people will go over it as they're jumping in, their jump angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It might be possible to hold it out and I don't know. I think the timing's too tight. It goes by too fast sometimes.
Mm.
I do use it sometimes when they're going to jump in, or just generically to sort of jump in.
I found it's pretty consistent.
It's kind of slow to do a reaction.
Yeah, possibly. It has a hitbox right where it starts. But, the only reason why I never really, fully did it a lot with him was because it wastes your sword, which is such a waste.
You don't get anything. It's
exactly.
9% or whatever.
Yeah, but if he could do that always, that would be sort of a consistent anti-ish, maybe. Well, I don't know. We'd have to figure that out more, but...
Yeah. I thought of something, too. Here's this. What if... how he can hold his, trait, his sword and his axe?
Yeah.
What if they took that away, but increased the speed of down sword and up sword? So there'd be... Not only would there not be a gap in between, down one and sword or something like that, but you could reasonably use the overhead as a mix-up, and it would hit. And the way it would hit would be a splat launcher, kind of like a Ford 3 is.
Maybe that might be too strong, though.
Yeah.
Every time he touches you, he
Especially
gets like a,
more
say, 50-50.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's pretty radical. I definitely use the overhead sword more.
Right. Well, because if the overhead sword is still kind of slow, like it's not, maybe it's not like
It's the same it is now, where it's not really 50-50. It's just a mix-up.
Yeah.
Because right now the overhead sword is significantly slower than the mix sword.
Right. Because to me, as long as one is slightly slower than the other, it's not that bad. Like, it's not super overwhelming.
I don't know. It probably wouldn't be that bad if you could still see it.
Right. We're all being hypothetical, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that kind of thing would be pretty decent.
No, the other
to me,
option
there should be doing something about Godsmack.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just don't know what.
In the setups. It's just in the neutral game. Like, you can't just throw it out. Like, it's terrible.
Unless it's online.
Yeah, online.
Fuck Godsmack online.
Yeah, you need to jump full combo punish.
Ares goes from like bottom 2 online to like top 2 online.
Top 2.
Or offline to online.
I think Godsmack is fine how it is. Just
I feel like if they
his
buffed
corner
it,
setups, Godsmack is ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like if they buffed it, they could screw up. Because, like, the only thing I can think of to change is make it have a hitbox in the air. So, like, say, you do it and the opponent's in the air, it'll anti-air them. But then that's kind of broken.
Changing anything that has armor and is unblockable and starts a combo and moves is like, it's very dangerous. So I would prefer they don't ever change
I think the only thing you could do at this point is make it faster. Like Sonic Pound fast.
No, because
not that fast, but like not that fast, but like more in line with that. That's the only thing you do.
I think it's fine
because then you could do it legitimately sometimes on reaction to projectiles.
But armor,
yeah, you can do it on reaction to some projectiles. The thing is, like those same projectiles are the ones that teleport on reaction.
True. Yeah. That's what I mean though. Like you would have an option. Like if say his metered option would be teleport and meteor and Godsmack. If you could teleport, you would get a bigger combo, so you'd probably want that.
Right.
But if you could not, if you just had to do a quick one, you could do Godsmack, and that would be, what is it, like 12% on hit?
A regular Godsmack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's 11.
Yeah, so it's like a decent hit into a knockdown.
Oh, so you're saying like regular Godsmack could be faster, but like normal Godsmack would be like slower still? Or, I'm sorry, Meterburn Godsmack?
Meterburn Godsmack would say same speed. Although I don't know how that would work, though, because it activates not immediately.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Grundy's Swamp Hands, they're different speeds.
That's true. Okay, so maybe it could work like that. But yeah, like basically his normal Godsmack, where it doesn't, it doesn't lead into ridiculous, damage or anything, could be faster as an option against, faster projectiles. Like so against like say Green Lantern, if you see his projectile coming, you could Godsmack him because his recovery is long on that. You could actually get him, but you wouldn't get like his huge reward for it. You'd get like a pretty good knockdown, buy you some time to get trait back, something like that.
Yeah, that could be okay. What if his Godsmack had like not a lot of recovery on whiffs? You could just like hop around the screen.
Ugh.
Like Reptile.
You look like a Diablo 2 character.
Make it harder to punish, I guess. It would make it safer to just throw it out. I don't know. You probably still wouldn't hit that often, is the problem.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, what if you could use it as a mobility tool? It would look pretty funny.
He'd look like a barbarian in Diablo 2.
They could do some sort of other general mobility buff. That was the obvious one I forgot. Either walk speed or his dashes. I don't know, maybe improve his backdash.
Yeah, his backdash is pretty ass.
Backdash right now is terrible. One of the worst in the game. He barely moves, and then his recovery is very long.
Yeah, they need to do something. They need to do something about his mobility.
Or his backwalk speed, make his zoning a little better. Like, there's all these pictures like Sinestro, I don't know, Raven, and you have great zoning and great backwalk speeds. And you have Ares, who barely moves, and his zoning isn't even that intimidating. I think maybe they did that because they intended teleport as a mobility tool, but it just doesn't work like that.
What if dark energy was a mid?
Oh, that would be big.
Like, what if it was like Sinestro's, where it got bigger over the length of the screen? Then he would have a projectile that's that's positive on block to supplement his somewhat slow zoning. But then you'd have the threat of like a sword coming up or an axe, and let's say they reduce the trade time again. So now he'll have those more often as threats, and he'll get some damage actually off of those.
That would be interesting.
I feel like that would help a lot. I feel like his zoning already, I have to use a lot of meter just because I have to throw those meter burn ones, because otherwise they just crouch him. And when they crouch it, the recoveries... the way the dark energy works is the recovery on it is really long, but it also has a ton of block stun. So if they block it, you're positive. But if they crouch it, you're really negative. So making it mid would make it hard to avoid. That would make it a much better projectile.
Right, because as it is now...
Although then you would also sort of lose the mix-up of make them crouch the normal dark energy, but then if they crouch the meter burn one, they get hit.
Yeah, but then you'd still get the mix-up of you don't want to walk backwards to block, because it starts walking you away from whoever's throwing the fireballs.
Exactly. It would definitely be worth the trade.
Because as dark energy is now, like I was playing Green Lantern and now I play Deathstroke, I can crouch those at a certain range and get a pretty good damage. I can get quick fire with Deathstroke, which is pretty good, but with Lantern I could get lift at a pretty good range. And Ares already can't punish lift with anything than when he's not point blank.
Yeah, if I'm not in back one range, I cannot punish lift. And back one range is not that good.
Right, so he was just open pretty much, if he threw Dark Energy at all beyond, 3/4 screen, it was a complete risk, but he doesn't have a lot of other tools other than that, to throw something at.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe it wouldn't be that bad if Ares had a mid-projectile, because, as far as, damage and size and speed and recovery, it's not that different from Cyborg.
Right.
So then, wouldn't it be like Cyborg Instant Air Fireball, though? If it's 2+, I don't know how to do it.
Like with Cyborg regular ground fireball.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, if it's similar to Cyborg regular ground fireball, I don't think it's that bad. He doesn't destroy anybody by just shooting ground fireballs.
Yeah.
The startup.
It's good.
Simple.
Yeah.
If you jump it, it's still you have a lot of advantage.
Yeah, you could still block and then dash one.
Right, exactly. Block and dash. You can still do that.
Okay.
He would just have a little more advantage, so he
that sounds like that'd be good.
Call a sword. He could have a sword out already ready for if you jumped, because that's the other thing about sword. Sword is you can't jump it. You're not going to.
Yeah.
If you see sword, you reaction.
You can't do anything without sword. If you try to do anything, it'll get hit.
Right. So then he could do a fireball, like a normal one, and then if they're gonna jump, if he thinks they're gonna jump, hold sword out, see what's gonna happen, and then pull back. Backdash out of it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other one time I talked about this, and I thought it was kind of cool, would be to give him a fake dark energy. He does dark energy, and his hand turns red, but then he just instantly stops. It's like a Grundy walking corpse style recovery.
What
so
did
then
you get out of
you fake them into jumping, and then your anti gets crushed. And
Well, obviously you would make making it down to 8 frames would be one of my improvements too.
What's this down to currently?
10.
I think it's 12 or 11. 11.
Oh.
So that'd make it more in line with the better down twos, and then he could actually get something off of that.
That'd be neat.
Oh, also this goes in the line with my idea of making the down one sword not.
Oh, he's down to this guy.
Faster startup, so it won't, it'll be like, the idea would be you could dark energy fake, see a jump, and then immediately down sword. And if you got a trade, you could still hit a back, not a back 3 maybe, but like a 4-2 or something like that, like a better combo than just, sword, now I can fireball, and then it's like 16% and whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, possibly. I like the idea of a fireball fake. It sounds pretty cool. I could visually see it in my head. It was pretty cool.
And that's something you don't see a lot of. Like I remember because HD Remix is one of the games I first played and competitively, and reuse fake fireball was cool. It was kind of dumb, but at the same time, it was pretty cool that he could do it. And I liked the mind game of, am I going to fireball, am I not going to fireball? Now, obviously, most NRS projectiles aren't quite like Hadouken status, but still, the idea is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of... what?
Make the startup on his teleport faster, so we can actually use it as a legitimate anti-zoning tool. Because right now, it's 19 frames or 20 frames.
I think it's 20.
I think the startup's 20 and the recovery's 19. And,
it's so annoying to deal with on Wake Up, though. I don't know if I'm ready for that trade-off.
Yeah, that's true.
Would
but then also,
well, how much faster would it be?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the question.
Well, would you be willing to trade to give it considerably quicker startup, but increase the recovery a little bit?
It's already pretty bad.
It's already 19 frames. It's full.
Yeah, I don't think increasing the recovery would be that good because, like, look at Zatanna's.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you are cutting a lot of time off the startup, then like that way it would be really good on reaction or on a read to try to get out of the way of something and punish it. But if you are wrong or you're just throwing it out randomly, you can still get punished easier.
Yeah, I guess they do still have the meter burn option too.
Yeah, I was about to say meter burn. I forgot that existed. So
Zatanna's teleport is 12 frame startup with 23 frame recovery. So it's a little bit more punishable. It's significantly faster. She can teleport out of the way for projectiles. Much more useful.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Zatanna's such a cool character.
She's annoying.
I love watching one. That'd be the character. I remember in another world, that's a character I'd probably play. Because I remember when she first came out, I was really emo because I couldn't do the teleport. And sure enough, when they did the patch notes, they were like, yeah, we made it a little easier. And then I started playing her, and I was like, I could just do teleports, and it's amazing. Because once you had full control of being able to do those, the teleports are really, really good. And it's just really cool to watch her just flash in and out, flash in and out, flash in and out.
I just can't stand her normals. If her normals were better, I'd probably play her at least somewhat, but I hate them.
Yeah, she's not really meant to be a melee character. They are pretty whack. And I think also the card special, I think, should be a little less negative. That's the only other thing I can think of. The one where she flips them at you.
Yeah, 52 card pickup, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least to use it as a footsie tool or something.
Because you already can, and it's pretty unpunishable, at certain ranges.
Mm.
But at certain points, that's your only, that's going to be your only option. And because if you jump over it, you'll still get hit by it, which is pretty cool. Because it lasts forever. But it's super punishable on block at that range too. So it kind of trades off. But now here's something. We're talking about these teleport characters. I was playing Lobo this weekend, 4x4lo8o, that is, and as Deathstroke, because I remember all the way back to when we went to one Wednesday night fights. Evan, that's 4x4lo8o, played this guy who was playing Deathstroke. Right. And you could tell the story. You could tell the story better than I could.
Yeah, I was playing the guy. I sat down and was playing him in casuals. I don't remember what his name is. Chef, you might know. I don't know. He wasn't there the
Legend.
last time. It wasn't Legend. No.
Okay.
He was a big guy.
Like Hispanic?
No, I don't think so. Maybe.
Racist.
Was it Immortal Angel?
He also played. No, it wasn't Immortal Angel. I think he also played Flash.
And it wasn't Legend?
It wasn't Legend.
Was it not Legend?
Maybe I mixed up. I don't know. I only played as Deathstroke.
That's weird. I have no idea who that is. Huh. Also played Flash. Was it Bunshin style?
I think that was
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen him play Deathstroke, but he does play Flash, and the description sounds rightish, so we'll just say it's him.
But basically, I was playing him, and I beat him pretty badly with casuals. I'm not sure if he took a game off me. But he kept cheering up about how bad the matchup was. I think he actually said he thought it was Deathstroke's worst matchup. Which is interesting because I actually think Deathstroke wins that matchup. It's not terrible for Ares, but I don't know. But basically, he just wanted to shoot guns a lot, and he'd do it predictably, so I could teleport them. And, I don't know, blow them up, I get a 3-down-2 with a teleported gunshot.
Yeah.
That's 50%.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that was the story King Hitter was referring to, but...
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was, because it seems like there's, like, a myth that, like, if you have a teleport or something vaguely regarding it, Deathstroke, he's done. That's it. And I don't understand why. Like, I get, okay, yeah, obviously if you shoot too many guns, yeah, you're going to get teleported on by a Zatanna or an Ares. Or Shazam or something, and it's going to be bad. Although I don't think anyone in their right mind thinks Shazam beats Deathstroke.
No, I don't think so either.
does.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Chef definitely does not. But, yeah, I don't understand, because, I'm playing against Ares, and I'm thinking, alright, I could shoot guns. Because, A, my low guns goes under his dark energy.
Yeah, basically what you do is you just play a reactive zoning game, where the second I do anything, you do low guns, and it beats whatever I'm doing. And then I have to basically walk my way in, and you can sort of pester me with low guns a little bit, just don't be predictable just once in a while. So I take this damage getting in, and then you outputs you too, sort of.
Right, with, there's that certain range, there's that dead zone, where back one won't quite reach. I can low guns. Now, you could jump it, but then Deathstroke's down 2 is secretly amazing. And it's something you will not jump on. It's going to lead to pretty good damage. And then the other thing is, if you try and just randomly teleport, if I see you start to teleport, I can probably do back, down back 3. And that'll do sword spin if you do it behind me. And sword flip if you do it right in front of me. Either way, you'll probably get hit.
Right.
And then... yeah, I'm not really sure. Because that's, to me, the thing, Deathstroke, again, not the pure zoning. You can't just literally zone. That. There was a guy, I think his name is Game MK on the forums, and he was describing how Deathstroke zoning is, if him zoning, the original version of him, is super terrible design. And I agreed. Because it's too fast to react to, and it does a lot of chip. And there's really nothing certain characters can do. A lot of characters couldn't do anything about it. And it was terrible design. I agree, it was the very, very bad, very, very scrubby, very, very not good design. And by making it so negative, which it might have been a little overboard, maybe, but I'm not really sure, it forced you to play, again, that reacting zoning game to where, okay, I'm going to match your fireball that probably is high by going under it and hitting you.
The only way I can zone is if I have meter, and I'm doing those meter fireballs.
Right.
It'll stuff both my traits, it goes under my normal fireball. That's it.
Right. And if I have quickfire, I can duck and punish you with quickfire if I get into a certain range, too. So I have both options. And with Zatanna, I don't think she loses to Zatanna at all. If her rings are super punish, if they're not meter burned, they are super duper punishable at a certain range. I think they're literally minus 30 or close.
Really?
They're really, at a certain range, if you walk into, I would say about mid-range, they're probably around in the minus 20, something like that. I can look up the actual frame data. But they're really bad on block. So you get to a certain range, and on block, you can punish with guns and start moving in. And when you move in, her, obviously, there's no way she's going to compete with you in that ground game. I'd be very, very surprised if she could.
I think her rings are pretty good from mid-range, actually. Pretty sure. I actually have no idea what that matchup is. There are, no Zatanna players. None. It's weird.
Oh, 13. Well, 13. Either way,
there's
that's
Guamo.
still a punch. There is Guamo.
Wait, who's Guamo?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Sorry, Guamo.
Okay, he's at Wednesday night fights. Last time I was there. I don't know if he's a regular there.
Yeah, no. I played Guamo. I played Guamo. Guamo was my friend. I was just messing with him. But yeah, I played Guamo in the Zatanna versus Shazam match at Wednesday Night Fights on stream the other day. It was really hype. Went down to the last hit.
Actually, weren't we there for that?
Were you there for that?
Were we? I don't
I
know.
played someone and it was super hype.
Yeah, I think. I think it was. Yeah, that was the week. That was right.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. But yeah, like to me, that's the thing. Like her zoning is punishable at a certain point. So with Zestroke, you should probably try and walk in. And also,
Right.
so is her, the Quan Chi like thing, the trance thing. That's pretty punishable, I think, anywhere she does it because it's
it's negative as hell.
probably like 16 or something like that. I assume.
I think it's more than that. Let me check.
I'm pretty sure
Minus- that's the dive kick. Never mind.
that was in the 20s.
Minus 21. Right. So the trap of do the rings and then do the do the rings and then do the trance thing at max range, Puppet Master.
Yeah.
That again will wield a quick fire hit, and I can get at least a dash and maybe 2 dashes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people again are just they need to get past the zone, and think a little more smartly about it. Because I think Deathstroke has really strong mid-range options that complement his guns instead of having super good guns that kind of all take over his whole style.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just something that people haven't adapted to since he got nerfed. Is they assumed that since he could zone really well, he was just a zoner. But
Right.
He's got lots of other tools that
Right.
make him not just a zoner.
Forward 3.
Forward 3.
How fast
3.
is his forward 3? Is it 26?
Yeah, I think it's like 26, 28. And I think also, like, there's something I'm starting to realize, like, he can literally do, like, down 2, which is +1, and then 4, 2, 3. It'll be 6 frames at that point, so the best you're probably going to do is trade. And then you can do 3, 2, which would be uninterruptible by that point, because 4, 2, 3 is +9. And then do 3, 2, sword spin. I mean, that's a decent string for decent chip. It's not like Aquaman status chip, but it's like around like 4% or something like that. It's something to keep you back. It'll push you back into the mid-range because spin pushes back a little bit. So even though his backdash is really bad, he could probably get out of a tight situation by backdashing or jumping back or something like that. That was something I noticed when I was playing. And then the other thing I noticed was how good his jump is again. Lobo was playing as Bane, and he could probably talk about that.
Oh my god.
Basically, he would do the raging charge, right? And I guess, as most characters, they can't... Like, a character like Joker, obviously, like, his jump is low.
Basically with Bane, there's a certain point where, like, obviously everyone can jump over Raging Charge and punish. There's a certain point with Bane where you're close enough, you do Raging Charge, and it's pretty hard to react to and jump over, so they basically have to block it. So it's fairly safe to do the Raging Charge. And then even if they do jump over it, usually they're far enough away that they can't punish. And Deathstroke just point blank, basically. He just jumps out. It's nothing. Or like, there was one point even, in the last match, before I finally just said, I'm going to go change characters, I read a low gunshot, so went up to level 3 and, charged through it. And I wasn't even full screen. I was like a little closer than 3/4 screen. You finished the low gunshots and just jumped out. Full combo punish. It was ridiculous. Like, his jump, just the hitbox on it and how fast it starts up. It's insane.
Is it similar to Batman's?
It's probably
I
about
think
the
it might
same.
be better. I think it might be better. But yeah, it's a lot like that.
Yeah, he turns into like a little Samus ball when he jumps back. So it's really hard to get him. Yeah, like if you don't attack, he's very, very small. And even his jump 1, very, very small.
Yeah, he brings up his legs.
Yeah, like I've tested it. Like there's certain safe jumps you can do on Martian after a sword flip, where you just go over push and hit it with jump 1. You can even hit Sinestro out of Arachnid Sting with it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to get over push.
Yeah, push and sting, Arachnid Sting, are basically like supposed to hit you like at above his head. So to me, the fact that you can jump them out of it is pretty good. Like that's something not a lot of characters have, and it's pretty decent punish option. Like he can jump out of like Doomsday shoulder, like at really close ranges, more than you'd think. Like because you're not supposed to be able to jump out of the meter burn one at all. I don't think.
Yeah, at least I've never really done it.
Yeah, but then like if they're at like a mid range and they're going to do the meter burn charge, you can like forward jump 1, and you'll probably go over it. Can't jump back because you'll still get hit, but
yeah,
jump forward, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, just me. more of exploring Deathstroke and thinking he's really good. Not like crazy good, but pretty good. Well rounded.
Definitely doesn't auto lose to teleports.
No, I don't think so.
No, not at all.
Maybe Martian.
Martian? Nah, get out of here. No way.
I don't think so.
Okay, I have a question. Have you tried the Tony T big body combo in the corner? I don't know if you saw it.
I've seen it, but I haven't tried it.
Okay. For those who don't know, it's jumping 2, 3-2-3, standing 1, 3-2-3, down 2, 3-2-3, 3-2-3, back 2-2, spin. This is like the hardest combo I've ever tried. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I'm dizzy just from you saying that.
I know.
How many times did you say 3-2-3?
I believe there's 4. Wait, right? Yeah, it starts with 1, then you do... Yeah, 4.
That's ridiculous. I didn't know. Like, I'd have to watch it again. I forgot there was 4. Jesus.
Yeah, he does 3-2-3, 3-2-3. I've been partway through the combo. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's something about Deathstroke that's pretty cool, actually, because one of the things I've been working on is conversions, because I just talked about earlier. I think they're really important.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing Lobo and Citizen Snips and a couple other guys just the other day, and I was noticing because of 3-2-3, like how far it goes and how it launches at the end, you can get wall bounces pretty frequently, even from like the other side of the screen. Because it always launches, so you can do forward 2 background bounce, and it usually works. And you can do another 3-2-3 into something sword flip, and that always usually connects. So it's just funny how like he crosses the whole length of the stage pretty much. And 3-2-3 you can also end in 3-2-3-1. And since he's still airborne, you could combo into an interactable if you wanted to.
Interesting.
That sounds dirty.
It's cool. I like his combos. He has some of my favorite combos.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the back 1 up 2, cool looking move.
Yeah, just everything about him. Also, 3-2-3 leaves you airborne, so you can do 3-2-3 into like an air interactable.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, just a pretty cool character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something the other day I was noticing. A lot of people were talking about how badly air guns got nerfed. Now, I agree they got nerfed. I'm not really sure why they got nerfed. I think it was just a recovery thing that really landed. But I'm thinking like, okay, air guns are meant to be used like I'm sure like on a jump back you see someone jump, then you do air guns, or you see an interactable.
Yeah, definitely interactable control.
Right. If they nerf the recovery on it, what were you using it for? That it would was anyone using it as a zone, like instant air zoning? I don't think anyone was.
I don't know. I mean, just normal high gun shots are fine enough recovery that it doesn't seem worth it to me. But
because they would still duck it, so it wouldn't matter. It's not like it was mid.
Right. I actually think at a point, I'm pretty sure this isn't how the case of how it is now, but back when we played the early build, we went to a convention called WonderCon, and Legend played Deathstroke. Back then, you could hit crouching big bodies with instant air gun shots. Good
lord, yeah. Then that would be really good because those aren't like super negative. I don't think.
Yeah, no, that was pretty nuts. But yeah, nowadays, I don't know, man. It's just people want to look for something to complain about, I guess.
Because I'm like I remember that was what Playing to Win was like whining about. I didn't even know he played Deathstroke. He probably doesn't at all. But he was like, man, they nerfed the air guns. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but they nerfed the recovery on it. So, like, I guess it's bad if you miss time it. Obviously, they're going to be able to jump again, which kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really understand the problem.
I guess. I don't think so. Hey, by the way, while we're talking about radical changes, you... I love thinking about cool things that change characters. What if they, instead of upwards rifle, they gave him upwards gunshots, and they were fast?
Like Harley status?
Like Harley. Would you think that would be OP?
I would just make rifle faster.
Alright, fair enough.
Or here's this. I would make rifle... You could keep it the same speed, but you would be able to cancel it into one of his other guns.
Like Harley's up?
Yes, just like Harley. So then you could do an anti-air gun, and if you were mistimed it, you could do quick fire. So if they dash in, you'd hit them, and if they don't, they would just duck again, just like Harley's.
For those who don't know, because I literally just learned it yesterday, is if you do up gun, you can cancel it into straight gun with Harley, and it literally cancels.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a cancel.
Bang, bang. Yeah, it even combos.
Her stuff always looks like a cancel, like the recovery's so quick. So. I didn't know that it canceled, though. That's weird.
Yeah, it's a legitimate cancel. Very, very cool design.
That's awesome.
And so I think if you did that to Deathstroke, he would then have, not a very OP option, just like Harley's. It's because he wouldn't be able to combo off the air rifle. Because Harley can combo off her air guns, but Deathstroke's recover's too slow to even do that. Mm-hmm. So he'd have a decent damaging anti-air move that he could cover his ass with if he needed to. And you could still take advantage of it by just ducking.
Uh-huh.
So it wouldn't be like a huge loss. But I think that would be pretty cool to have. Because even if they jumped at a different time, like you did up rifle and then they jumped, you could quick fire and that would hit him out of the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Or maybe even if you could just cancel it just from up rifle to straight rifle.
Yeah, up rifle to straight rifle, yeah.
That would be cool.
One other thing buff I would give him is the original machine gun chip.
They nerfed that?
It's really low now. Yeah, it's like less than
low
pistol
gun
shots. Yeah.
Because then to me it has it's still a pretty good option. I still like it a lot, but that to me would give it a little more of an edge.
What do you use the machine gun for now?
I use it for armor characters and trading.
Yeah, that's how I use it. Some characters, if you try to trade with them,
so you get more damage onto it. Okay,
right. And also sometimes also because if I think they're going to jump, I really like having the meter burn grenade.
Right.
Yeah, like against Nubcakes, this is something I do a lot, where he would do the jump and then the glide as Batman, and I'd hit him out of the air with the meter burn grenade, so he wouldn't be able to glide, and he'd be back at full screen.
See, that's where we need the upgun buff.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so cool.
He shoots a grenade out of. He has a meter burn up rifle, doesn't he?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I'm gonna go test that right now.
Yeah, but I think that would be a pretty cool thing. A lot of people would want a buff to his trade. I don't really see the need for it. I use it as is.
You have that unblockable setup.
I do have an unblockable setup. With the laser, I do. There's something really dumb. It's not dumb, but it's pretty cool.
Which laser interactive?
The Fortress of Solitude laser.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Where they is it a teleportation? I call it a laser. I don't think it's a laser. It's like a teleportation thing.
Whatever that thing is.
It's like a laser.
Yeah. So I use that where you do like a combo with Deathstroke, and then at the very end, instead of doing sword flip, you do the laser, and he has enough time to trade up during the time it takes to come back. You can trade and then do down 2 sword flip. So sword flip hits them at the highest possible height they can get hit by it.
So you're
plus 10.
Ooh.
And then you can do 1-3-2, and they can't crouch it. So you have to push block, or you get hit. And,
I like that.
1-3-2 in the corner leads to 4-3, and a lot of damage. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think I want to say it was Crathen that really, because Crathen puts out a lot of great tech. I give a shout out to him again. Crathen is a guy. I don't even know if I don't think he's from the United States. He's a Deathstroke player, and he puts out a lot of great small videos on things that Deathstroke can do. Like he just recently came out with 4-3 cross-ups mid-screen. You in certain combos in 1-2 sword flip, and you can double dash, and slightest of slight delays on the 4-3 will make it cross up. Very, very difficult to see. And the other one he found was that Deathstroke, if you walk forward a little bit, there's a lot of backdashes that he can actually punish that he normally couldn't. So like Sinestro, for example, Sinestro's now a very common thing is to do back 1-2 and then backdash, right? Because it's safe, and he has really good footsie options if he backdashes. So if you kind of hold forward and he's buffering backdash, if you kind of hold forward, you could just do 3-2-3 and that'll hit Sinestro out of his backdash, launch him for pretty decent damage. And that's the way it works with a lot of characters that have a safe string into a backdash. If you just hold forward a little bit. Now, obviously, this is more of a read thing. I mean, you get hit by a down 1 or something like that. But it's a cool thing to have. I didn't know he could actually outlast the invincibility frames was 3.
And, I like that.
Yeah, Crathen found that out. So, yeah, he's just a really smart. He's thinking up of smart to keep the character going.
I'm going to try out some stuff in that matchup now with Ravensford, too. Because that sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Deathstroke. He's a cool character.
Okay. This just in from the lab. Upwards gun does have a meter burn, and it shoots a grenade. And if they're full screen, the grenade will hit them on the ground. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yes, we've got new tech here. You can
I
shoot them full
gimmick.
screen with a grenade. They'll be like, "Oh, I can move," and then the grenade will hit them. Gimmicks.
But isn't that the point of the regular one, anyways?
Shut up.
Oh. All right. I'll drop Deathstroke now.
Oh,
You're
Green
playing-
Arrow. I have an even more useless piece of tech. If you know how Green Arrow can get hit out of his super and they'll just get popped up and then fall down.
Yes.
He can OTG after it, like with anything that'll reach. It's like you can slide or do a
That's
down
weird.
three or something. Yeah.
That is weird. Did you know off his back throw he can instantly down one you?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like he does. It's only his back throw. It's not his forward throw. His back throw leaves you so, and the frame advantage on throws is never that great. So you're already like kind of already up, and he can do down one into something, and I don't think. You can probably backdash out of it or something like that, or maybe wake up. But I think it's not. There's not a lot to stop you from doing that. Yeah. God, that meter burn rifle. Now I'm looking at it. That's kind of funny. Is it overhead? I can't see.
I don't know. Let me check.
Yes,
I'm pretty
it is.
sure it is.
Yeah, it says overhead.
Yeah.
That's
Will it hit with croucher? Let me see.
probably not. There's no way.
Oh, it goes over crouches full screen. I'm really bummed.
Yeah, it shoots it pretty high.
Oh,
You have no reason to stand.
damn, I'm so bummed about that.
That kind of sucks.
Dude, I'm going to find a legitimate use for this rifle by the next podcast.
By the next podcast, you're gonna
By
do
the next
it.
podcast, I'm going to check back in with you guys.
I did find something cool for his sweep. His sweep is very low profile. Not quite Wonder Woman status, but pretty close. And he can sweep under quite a few things, like range jump-ins. He can sweep under that. He can sweep under Wonder Woman's spin on Wake Up. That's pretty funny. I don't know if he can actually punish. Not that I could get it, but it would make it whiff and go back into a neutral situation. Something like that. So I'm trying to find maybe a use for that. I think is the best is going to be for going under mid-range jump-ins. Try and set up a cross-up forward 3, which would be very easy at that point.
Have you tried sweeping under Aquaman's jump 2?
I actually have something for that.
Okay.
I use 3. His standing 3 will go under the jump 2, and it will automatically go under the jump 3. And if you do 3-2, you can hit him as he's still in the air, and you can do the launcher into some sort of combo. Stupid Aquaman.
Up Deathstroke.
Yeah. And then there was one other thing I was thinking of. Maybe. Down 2. Anywhere off of down 2, you can always land forward 3, even if it hit. For example, if you do jump 3 into down 2, and even if it hits, you can still get a forward 3. So now my go-to off of most jump-ins is to immediately do down 2, because if it hits, I can get forward 3 for pretty decent damage. Let's see, off of jump 2, it's probably going to be around about 30, maybe 29. Yeah, so 29 damage off of jump 2. Jump 3 is like slightly more. And if it's blocked, I'm +1, so I get to do 4-2-3, which would be 6 frames at that point. And then that's +9. And then I could do a jump. I could do 3-2 sword spin for chip and meter. I could do back 2, I could do back 2 or down or back 1, try and start 50-50. Yeah. Very interesting character. Smarter design than I originally thought.
That stuff
like him
sounds
a lot.
cool.
Yeah, I could have seen myself using him if in an alternate dimension.
And also dimension where you played one character.
There
talking about how dimension
there are no
doesn't-
dimensions where I play one character. I'm sorry, but I could have seen.
Dimension X where the Technodrome is in Ninja Turtle. Yeah, I can't see that ever happening either.
Yeah, no. Every single alternate universe out there, I play at least like 6 characters. At
You
least.
play more than 6 characters.
Well, I said at least. Okay.
No, you'll always play more than 6.
That's what I said. At least means more
No,
than.
no.
No.
You did use it right. What are you talking about?
I did use it right. I'm so confused.
No.
No, all right. Here's something I wanted to bring up. I saw on Twitter that you were saying why is everyone freaking about SCR still? We have almost 50 pre-regs.
Yeah.
And I actually agreed with that. I think the cap is, 64, right?
Yeah.
Now, you said, and I think this is true if you look at any history, that the pre-regs always go up around, with 2 weeks left.
Yeah, easily.
So pre-reg with the early bird special stops on, the 16th of February?
16th or 17th or something along those lines. I don't know.
That's still 2 weeks left to the event. I think most people are like that, where they just get it in at the last minute.
Yeah, I mean...
I think if you only need 14 more people, I think it'll happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, we actually don't have...
On the numbers?
Okay, I was actually about to address that conveniently. We don't... It's not 100% that it's 50 right now, but since we heard that number 41, I know there's been multiple people who have signed up, myself included. I know I didn't... or I should say I did since then. I know Crazy did since then.
Well, King Hippo did, and I just signed up for Rock and Lobster, another Arizona guy, yesterday.
Nice, so that's at least
So
4.
you're confirmed?
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
I will be there.
Sweet.
I got the time off, and I will be there.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Glad to hear that.
We can do a live version of the podcast. That'd be scary.
The live version. We can do it live as I'm trying to do the Ducky Challenge. The $20 thing.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'll probably do it for fun.
Yay.
Let's throw that out there, by the way. So what Ducky's doing is Ducky has a challenge where you pay $20 and you have to beat him in a first to 5. Basically, he pulls names out of a hat of people who paid and challenges them one by one. And if you beat him, you get $100 for you only putting up 20. Plus, you get your 20 back.
And so there's only the pot's gonna have $200, so only 2 people can win.
So there's $200 pots?
No,
Two $100
pots.
2 $100
Yeah.
pots. Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
Can I win $200 if I beat you twice?
No, we're not doing that.
Limit
Let's
one
use
only?
2 different characters.
No.
Ooh. What if we did with Ares and Bane?
Oh god.
Dude, if you beat Ducky with Ares, I will give you $200.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
I'm in.
Damn.
Damn it. If that happens, Ducky's going
Hippo, you have to learn Raven. Help me,
Hey.
Brian.
Bobo, let's collude. Just split the pot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Collude.
Damn it. This was not part of the plan.
You done fucked up, chef.
I take my offer back. Anyway, let's talk about what we were talking about.
Oh, that's right. So the SCR thing, I think if there's only need of round about 16 to 20 people, I think it'll easily happen.
It's considerably less than 20 because I know there was at least 2 more people that I know of, but I can't think of who they were right now that signed up. So we know of at least 6 people that signed up since the 41.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm sure we're at 40. We're guaranteed at 47 or more, probably more.
Yeah. So then it would be only another 12, 14 people.
If we invite to tweet it out again, it's at 55 or something like that, you'll probably get a rush of people that are like, oh shit, I want to go, I'm going to go, I need to register right now. It'll jump up real fast. It's close.
Right, and then they'd raise the cap and all would be well.
And then we have the cap and it'll get raised.
Yeah, I see no problem.
I feel right now, some people don't have that sense of urgency. But they will once it starts to get just a little bit closer.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of hard to foresee exactly what's going to happen a month in the future. So,
right.
You can't just be like, oh, well, for sure I'll go to SCR, when there is no rush for you to sign up, when, perceivably there is no rush. So usually people want to wait until it's a little bit closer to the tournament. So we're a month ahead. We are 1 month ahead of the tournament. And there's 50 people signed up. And for some reason, I'm gonna call it, say, Crimson Shadow and DMS are both very what's the problem? What's you guys' problem? Why aren't there more pre-registered? It's like that's very good for a month ahead. I've been part of these tournament scenes for a long time, and we're not a main game, so we're not a Capcom game. So that kind of number a month ahead is very good. It's very good. It's a very good sign. It's very healthy for what it is. There are no issues. Honestly, if it keeps going at this rate, we will raise the cap. I believe that very wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and I think in the first place, I think people freaked out about the cap a little bit. It's kind of 64 only. Well, that's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But that's all I ever thought about it, because I know Valle. I know he would... if there was an interest, he'd be like, all right, raise the cap.
I was going to say, I heard that, and my first thought was, well, we'll hit the cap and then raise. Like, there wasn't any doubt. It's just,
right.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has ever seen a tournament get its numbers really high and then just go, yeah, no. I'm not going to raise the cap. Fuck you guys. I don't think anyone would ever do that.
Yeah, and let me give a huge shout out to Valle because he's super duper awesome and he supports our community like a lot.
Valle moved the pools because we were complaining about it. It was going to be Friday. People were like, oh, it's Friday. I can't travel. I can't do that. I got work, whatever. Valle moved the pools for us.
Yep, he moved all the...
So they're Saturday now.
Yep, they're all on Saturday, and he added a 3v3 for us on Friday. And on top of that, I'm not sure if it's 100% confirmed. I heard it sort of secondhand, but basically I heard that KI didn't have nearly as many entrants as Injustice. And originally Injustice was going to finish completely on Saturday, right? And we weren't going to have any time on the mainstream. But he changed it to where we're switching spots with KI. So we are going to have a top 8 on Sunday on the mainstream because we had more numbers. And KI is going to finish on Saturday, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like he's very willing to change around based on what we're showing, and he sees the numbers, and in fact he's one of the people who told me. He said, oh, don't worry about it. All the he's the one who told me all the tournaments they get the most of the numbers in the last 2 weeks. So
and he would know, I think.
Yeah, he's run a few tournaments.
He's pretty solid authority, I think.
I think he's run like 2 or 3 tournaments, maybe.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, I believe him.
But we do need to throw it out there. If you're listening to this and you're going to go to SCR, like our numbers look good now, but register now. There's no reason not to. It's going to be a great tournament. You want to go. If you register now, you pay less. We hit our cap sooner, so Criminal Shadow gets off our back, and we raise the cap. So yeah, go register now if you're going to go. There's no reason not to.
Also, bring $20 so I can take it from you.
Dang.
Also that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I also want to mention, again, if it doesn't, and we haven't already sold it enough, is that the tournament will not be run by the Level Up staff. It's going to be run by EGP as contracted by the Level Up staff. So you won't get a lot of TOs kind of running around, not really like they're doing a bunch of other games and stuff like that. EGP is solidly committed to just running MK and Injustice. And are they doing KI too?
Yeah, KI also this year.
Injustice, KI, and MK. So there's a smaller group of people, much more intimate, much more coordinated. I mean, me and Evan went to SCR last year. And there was no real delays. There was no issue of who needs to play.
Mm-hmm.
It was just straight calling names out, getting it done. We had our own little area almost. I mean, there was a TV
we
where
sit on a
we
little
could
corner.
watch.
Yeah, literally, which sounds bad, but
right.
it was more
awesome.
It was more like everybody else was crowded, and they gave us space. It was
Right.
more of like a positive way.
Right.
It's great, dude.
I remember during that Tyrant Setsui match last year, everyone got super hyped and screaming, and all these other people from other parts like wandered over, like, oh, what's going on in Mortal Kombat? Why are we so hyped?
Yep.
Had to come over and check out our corner.
Yeah, man, there's still a bunch of pictures of everybody just like over in our area, like just staring and looking at the matches, and it was great, dude. It was just EGP always runs it great. This is their 3rd year in a row doing SCR. Of course, they've run all the
Right.
MK tournaments and a bunch of Injustice tournaments for us in SoCal, and they're, I mean, Brian Compton, one of the best TOs, if not the best TO I've ever encountered. So it's gonna be great.
And it's one of the things, again, if they don't use multiple ballrooms or something like that, you can just kind of wander around and you see all these games. And then there's a screen so you can see what's going on. But there's enough also setups to where you can go just kind of look and then peer and then walk over to something else. It was just a great way to use. Are they using the same venue this year, University of Irving?
Yeah, I think that they are, and they have one more room too to spread along. But also, one of the cool things about the EGP stream, which I didn't mention, is they let us do a bunch of exhibition matches and stuff on stream, like with full commentary and everything, which isn't something you get to see a lot at majors. So last year we had the infamous Duckies blindfold match versus Pig. Yeah, that was good. And we had a bunch of team tournaments. Christian Bit.
Yeah, the Christian money.
Chaos. Hilarious.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a lot more of that this year, and then also he wanted to get on here at some point, so I'm gonna have to contact him about it. But Cash Ulysses from SoCal, he is running the Salty Suite, so we're gonna have that for the after hours stuff, and I think I'm running the stream there. It's pretty much set, and I am gonna borrow some stuff from Vi because he's a cool guy, some streaming equipment. But yeah, so that's gonna be good. So it's gonna be great. Like everything's getting streamed. There's going to be a ton of hype matches, ridiculous money matches. Of course, we've already got a Filipino Man versus Goomba.
Right.
Who do you guys think's going to win that?
Well,
Filipino Man.
None of us are biased at all.
I'll say this. as the unbiased member, I'll say this. Now, I haven't seen a lot of Filipino Man's Wonder Woman play. I'm sure it's been on your stream at some point, and I've missed it. So I can't comment a whole lot. Elite Goomba is more often on the, because they always stream every match of the AKs and then upload it to YouTube pretty fast. So I've seen a bunch of those, and I will say this: if Filipino Man knows to duck, back to whip, and punish it with, you could probably punish it with straight TR, honestly, or even another back two, I'm sure. Or and also
back two, you can punish it with TR.
Yeah,
I think they're same speed.
Yeah, and if he knows that you can punish 2-3, the Filipino Man definitely already has an edge. Because Goomba's a big fan of Goomba's a big fan of back two whip, which is not, you don't have to block it.
Mm-hmm.
It's horseshit. You can block it, you can stand block and then duck. And there's a lot of characters, like, so for example, mine, I can do quick fire, or meter burn quick fire gets still 20%. Other characters might be able to do, like I said, Wonder Woman, and I'm not really sure of the character. She could I wonder if she could do straight tiara, meter burn, and then back 1-1, full launcher, full combo, big, huge damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so there's that. And then, Goomba's a big fan of using 2-3. I'm sure he does it for the way it forward moves. But it is punishable. I think it's -9 or 10.
Yeah, I believe it's -9.
If they jump, it catches them better. It's a better combo.
Right, yeah, that too. So, Wonder Woman could punish that with down 1-2, and again, Tiara, big damage. So, it's risky stuff. And I don't know. Also, I haven't seen if Filipino Man likes to go for a lot of, do a combo and then end, 2-3, 2-3, and then do the dive bomb to try and reset him. Filipino Man's a big fan of, or not Filipino Man, Goomba's a big fan of that too. Ending combos prematurely to go for a dive bomb that may or may not cross up.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah.
I can tell you from playing Filipino Man,
right, you would know that.
He is an extremely solid Wonder Woman, and that's his sort of specialty. He doesn't go for a lot of gimmicky stuff, but he's extremely solid. His spacing, footsies, and everything are good. Obviously, he's a top player in AA, so he already has experience in high-level fighting games. And his execution is really good. So, for instance, he is a person who will do back two from point blank, and then do 2-3, and do the full conversion off of it, which is something that not a lot of Wonder Womans do consistently. And so he will make you guess between 3-3 or back two point blank, or he will convert off every single time that he hits you with a Nam zoning uppercut, the down forward 3. Or every single corner combo he'll land it. So he's extremely solid, but it doesn't seem like he goes for as many dive punch resets or gimmicky stuff, but he is super solid, and it's really hard to beat him with stuff like that. You can't gimmick him out based on his solidness, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think another thing that's going to come down to is who do they have to practice the matchup against?
The Wonder Woman matchup?
They should play it online together.
Practice against each other for the day.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I will give props to Goomba. His conversion is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen off of most of the stuff he'd convert pretty well and then try and get the back 1-1-3 lasso knockdown. So again, it could go either way. I don't know Filipino Man's usage of the shield stance, the sword shield, because I don't see a lot of it from Goomba. He doesn't seem to be using it that much, and if he does, it's really just to do a shield bash back into lasso pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Himete, at least once I saw Goomba go into the corner combo, switching the shield stance for that high damage and drop it.
Mm. Yeah, I've almost never seen Filipino Man drop a corner combo, which is pretty impressive. But, I know over here, Filipino Man, he's practicing with Sejan, who plays Wonder Woman, rather well. And me and him are intending on practicing, but we can never meet up for some reason. And
Is he going to Wednesday night fights?
He does, but sometimes he can't make it because of school.
Yeah, I was going to say he wasn't there last time, was he?
Right, and he wasn't there last week too. So, but yeah, I just don't know who Goomba has to practice over there against. Like, who ults Wonder Woman in Atlanta?
He probably plays online. Fox.
Yeah, he plays online a lot, so
Maybe.
I did hear that Anton played online with Foxy. That
I imagine it's terrible. It's the lag. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine the lag being anything but horrendous. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting one way or another. It's two people that have absolutely no connections to each other, and just completely calling each other out. And we got to see it.
Right. I think it'll be very interesting to see.
That being said, if anybody wants to side bet, I have my money on Anton. I'm Filipino man because he's my homie. So get at me.
I think side bets, Cash will handle that. I mean, it's in his name.
Dude, yeah, he's got that mercenary money.
Mercenary money. He's got that Farquaad money. Lord Farquaad money.
Farquaad was pretty rich, right? He was like
I almost entered as Farquaad Hippo.
Oh my god.
See if anybody would get it, because I'm about that height. That's the one thing I got going for me. I'm about Farquaad height. So it kind of works out. Like, if I were to get a costume.
yeah, I was about to say, can you show up to SCR dressed up as Farquaad?
I can't rock the tights, man.
Can't
rock the tights. I can't get that 5 o'clock shadow he rocks so brilliantly. It's just something I can't maintain.
Just use a Sharpie.
I could use a Sharpie. I like this idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I'm trying to get, and I don't know if it's going to happen before SCR, I'm trying to get a Cactus Jack shirt and a vest, a red flannel with the cutoff, so I could be in character and I could go bang bang and it would make more sense. But I don't think it's going to happen before SCR. So we'll have to wait on gimmicks.
Damn.
Yeah. It's a shame.
I'm playing on I don't know if you guys saw Justice League War. But
I haven't seen it. I know about it, though.
It's awesome.
In Justice League War, Billy Batson, he's got a yellow shirt on, and then he's got a red hoodie over it, and it's zipped down halfway. So there's like this little, like, kind of, like triangle, almost like the lightning bolt, down his chest of the yellow, but he's red. It's pretty cool. I want to emulate that at SCR or something.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Shazam, clearly.
Yeah.
Justice League War was awesome, so everybody should go watch it.
GL calls Batman a phenomenal douchebag, and that was the best part of the movie.
Calls him a douche?
Yeah, he says he's a douchebag. It was great.
You are a phenomenal douchebag.
It's the best part of the movie.
Batman probably, like, if you have to be in a team, like, if you only see him every now and then, you're probably like, hey, he's an alright guy. But if you're in a team with him and he's constantly doing that loner shit, and you know he's got files on how to destroy you, you probably get fed up with this shit pretty quick.
Did anybody see that movie where somebody gets a hold of the files and everybody almost gets fucked over?
Justice League Doom.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very good movie.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. I like how Martian Manhunter hates fire. He's like, I love how, like, one of the most generic superhero things ever to do is save people from a burning fire, and he can't do that.
Poor Martian.
Come on, like, that's like the standard for superhero guy. Like in Spider-Man the movie, when he loses his powers, the normal guy thing he does is save a girl from a fire. That's like the normal person thing he does. And Martian can't even do that. How OP could he be?
He's always differently OP.
That's true. Although he really does get bodied a lot in Justice League. I remember someone brought that up. Like, in the Justice League show, back in the day, Martian was on it. And you know about all these powers he has. It makes him sound super broke.
Mm-hmm.
But in the show, he's constantly getting bodied by every no-name villain they fight. He doesn't appear to have physical strength. Like, he can do the whole, like, the cryptic Martian thing that he does, and phase through walls and stuff. But after that, he seems kind of weak sauce. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing about every DC character, is that everybody, it seems like they always use the line, has Superman-like strength. Every single character, like the DC character, can potentially be OP as fuck, but it's only sometimes. Like Shazam, yeah, sure, he's supposed to be as strong as Superman and as fast as Flash, and has to have the knowledge, like, infinite knowledge and stuff like that. But it's like, oh no, it's only sometimes. Sometimes he's just kind of strong and he can kind of shoot lightning. Same thing with Martian and Aquaman. They're like, oh yeah, he lives on the bottom of the ocean, so he's as strong as Superman. But sometimes Superman just punches his shit in.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of on the whim of they're kind of option select with a lot of these characters.
Yeah,
just build them with all these phenomenal powers, and then it's like, well, you can kind of pick and choose.
Pretty much.
Like Superman, like I remember, like if you look at the super old, like 1940s, 30s, old broken Superman, he was basically Superman from Injustice, like launch, where he could breathe in space. Like he could breathe in space and underwater, and he could lift planets.
Isn't that kind of how Superman is now?
No, he cannot lift planets. He cannot breathe outside of...
He can punch the universe.
He can punch the universe.
He can breathe in space.
I don't think he can.
Dude, I guarantee you can. In fact, even in Justice League War, there's this line where Green Lantern's like... Green Lantern's talking to Flash. He's like, well, can you breathe in space? And then Superman's like, I can.
Yeah, he kind of can.
Oh. I mean, maybe he holds his breath longer, but in most of the comics they show, he needs a respirator if he's out on deep space or he's in underwater. And then the other thing he used to be able to do was lift planets. Like, literally, like, lift a planet like anyone else would, like, a normal thing. And they are obviously like, okay, this is broke. And so now, most of the modern stuff show him, like, if he's trying to lift, like, an airplane, he kind of is like, this is pretty fucking heavy. And that's better than, because if he could lift planets, then there's no way you would ever take a punch from this guy. Clearly. He also used to not be able... I feel like it's funny. This is something they buffed of his from the old days. He used to not be able to fly. The whole leap tall buildings in a single bound. That's what he could do.
Yeah, I think actually there was... it was one of the New 52 series. It was like a... I don't know if it was actually Superman. It was Superman Unbound or something like that. And it was like a Superman in like a shirt and jeans. And he can't fly
he's really
yet.
Unbound,
Yes, he's quite unbound. But his power's like developing and stuff, so I think that's similar to that.
Right, like he could just like jump across buildings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what he used to do, and then he could fly after that, which I think was pretty funny. And then eventually they added the lasers. And the freeze breath is always, to me, that was always the one everybody makes fun of. It's like, good lord, he can do all this, and he could freeze you with his breath. Did you ever see that power? And this is pretty gay, but did you ever see the Powerpuff Girls episode from back in the day?
There's nothing wrong with Powerpuff Girls, okay?
I agree, but some people don't. But then again, some people will like My Little Pony and be like, it's all right. But there are things wrong with that. Anyways, there's an episode of the Powerpuff Girls where they're all they're young, they're developing new powers, and Blossom figures out she has a new power, and it's ice breath. And everybody just makes fun of her. God, that's such a dumb power. They're like, what? This is useless. Why would that ever do that? And then the professor forbids her from doing it. And then she won't use her ice breath anymore. This is all about how ice breath is this shitty little power that's dumb.
I want to freeze stuff. It'd be fun.
Because he already had normal breath. That was the other thing. He would already normally blow you away. Why does he need to be able to freeze you?
I don't know, dude. He used it pretty well in Injustice.
He certainly did.
He froze Billy Batson's mouth so he couldn't roll Shazam's mouth so he couldn't say Shazam. And there was that huge wave following behind Aquaman, and he froze it solid and threw it.
Oh, I agree. I think ice power definitely has its uses. But it's just kind of weird that he could do that.
Raven can reflect his EX breath.
It's pretty cool.
So weird.
Would anyone do... would anyone do EX breath? Well, I'm sure in some block strings it's not a true block string. And the breath is supposed to catch you like mashing.
Me and Crazy do it. We do 4-2-3 breath, EX breath. It catches people jumping and trying to poke.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. It's weird how well it works.
Right on.
You do that to me, I'll body you.
4-2-3 breath like normal, and then after that you just do a naked EX breath?
Yes.
Wow.
Dude.
Ballsy.
That's awesome.
It sounds so gimmicky, but it hits way more than you'd ever think, especially in the corner.
Because then the jumping out, because he goes all the way up.
You just want to move.
Yeah, like literally anything they do, except for like a meter burn back 3 will get blown up by it. And then meter burn back 3s usually whiff from that range. So then you whiff punish it afterwards. It's Crazy's tech mostly. He pretty much thought it up, but it's pretty godlike.
You know what I thought would be pretty funny is if he had an anti-air breath that looked like Dalton's Yoga Blast.
And it just froze them?
Where he breathes upward. Yeah, he froze them midair. That'd be hilarious.
Killer.
Not that he needs it, mind you, but...
Right. No, dude. I think Superman needs more tools.
Here's a perfect example of Superman getting more tools. There's a comic one time where they found out he can fight people like these telekinetic masters. He can fight them in his mind. Like, he can do that. Like the Charles Xavier thing from X-Men. And they were like, and everyone was like, oh my god. Okay, so not only can you not fight this guy physically, mentally he'd fuck you up too. And it's just like, well, where do we win?
I bet he has a small penis.
Right. The only way you could beat him is to be Doomsday and totally mindless.
You know, I've been trying to figure out how to beat Superman for 6 months.
Right, maybe you found out.
Pick Raven.
I am picking Raven.
I know.
Hold that.
Hold that.
I don't have to because I'm still better.
Ooh.
Okay, now, going back to SCR, there is one thing that's not all sunshine and roses.
Okay.
And Lobo knows about this too. MK9 is on PS3. It's a travesty and needs to be addressed.
Well, I will address it. At this point in the game's life, I think we can all accept that Xbox is overall better.
Yes.
However,
yes.
At this point in the game's life, I mean, this could very well be like the last time that we see MK9 at a major in SoCal. So it's very hard to suddenly change the the standard, because PS3 has been the standard for so long in a lot of places.
Well, the thing is, everything else is on Xbox now. So you have the Xboxes there for Injustice. People are bringing their Xbox sticks and whatever. I had sort of just presumed, like, everything's on Xbox now. Well, retroly goes to MK. That's the standard now. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it'd be a big deal to change it.
Well, there are more than you think. There are a lot of people that are only going to come for MK and not as much Injustice, or they don't care as much about Injustice. So, like, someone like, for instance, when I tried to run my tournament, the Comic Combat, which there's another one coming up, but I'll talk about that later. When I tried to run my tournament, there were several people who said that they wouldn't come unless MK was on PS3. Like, for instance, like P-Board and what's her name, because they play on PS3 pad.
Yeah, is that a controller issue?
Yeah, or like, for instance, like P-Board plays on the MLG Pro pad, and he doesn't want to have to buy an Xbox One because it's $100, and there's no real converter that he can do, or stuff like that, or like Seven, he's gonna only come for MK, and then I don't know. There's a lot of people, more than you think, that are just gonna come for MK, and they're also used to PS3 as a standard, that it's just so hard to change it, at the very last minute, just be like, oh yeah, this is the last tournament, we might be the last tournament we have for this game as a major, and we're going to run on a different system. So, I mean...
That makes sense. I guess the TO also has copies for the PlayStation, and not the Xbox.
Yeah, I mean...
And we don't want to make Compton have to buy 10 copies of Mortal Kombat for the Xbox, so he'll never use it again. Right,
and I mean, we're already having... a little bit of difficulty getting all the Xbox copies and the Xboxes to run it at the HEP setups.
Right.
So it just makes it all easier if it's PS3, and I mean, we can all agree that it's better on Xbox, but it's been the standard for such a long time that
MK is not as bad as Injustice anyway. You can't use Hell Stage, and the X-rays slow down, but for the most part, gameplay's fine.
Yeah, I mean, as long
Injustice on the PS3 is just terrible.
Yeah, especially certain levels. Like, of course, what was the level we were playing on? Batcave.
Yeah, Batcave with a generator and.
Yeah, so we'd like to run on Xbox, but just gotta stick with the standard. I mean, luckily, everybody did catch on for Injustice, so we'll never have this problem with Injustice. We've already changed the standard.
It took way too long.
Evo caught on to the problem finally.
Yeah, I mean, but we got it eventually. So, and it was hard because that was the other thing, is Evo changed, so it was really hard to try to change over to Xbox for MK when we all knew that Evo was going to be on PS3. But since we know that it's going to be on Xbox for Injustice now, we're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Way easier to change. I think that was a big reason why it was easier to, change the standard.
Right. Good move on Evo's part, by the way.
I would not have gone to Evo this year, or I would not be going if it's still on PS3. Not after what happened last year.
That's right.
Yeah, last year at Evo.
Yeah, I remember.
When I got knocked out of Losers, I played M. Betty, that Doomsday fighter. I didn't know who he was at the time, but I guess lots of people know who he is now. But the frame rate slowdown was terrible. Like, people watching could see it. They're just like, what the fuck's going on? It was just completely unplayable. And the ref wouldn't do anything. Like, I asked him, like, do I really have to play on this? And he just sort of, like, shrugged. And then at the end of the match, I go to shake his hand, and he's just, like, sitting there. We're both, like, sitting there for, like, I don't know, a long time, just in disbelief that we had to play that. It ends, it's, 2-1, wins the last round, like, to the last combo. It was super close. And then I go to shake his hand, and he's just, like, shakes his head. He's like, we'll money match later or something. And then the ref, like, one of the other, there's two refs sitting there, and they're, like, talking about it. And finally they're like, well, because you didn't say anything during the match, we can't do anything. But if he wants to, since he won, he can rerun it. Like, they offered to give him the chance to rerun the set, which obviously he can't take. Like, he won the match, he's going to take it. I was so mad that the ref even offered that. And of course he took it, but it was...
You should never...
It was terrible.
Your ref should never put someone in that situation. Ever.
No, yeah. It's like, I wanted to rerun that set on another station, more than anything. But, I couldn't have accepted that, even if he had said, he wanted to rerun it. And it was so bad, because I said something to the ref, too, and he was like, he didn't say anything. And there were people watching. It wasn't just like, I felt it was a little laggy. I dropped my confidence. Visible frame rate slowdown.
Yeah.
I was so mad. That's the worst thing.
Didn't you also manage to play on an unpatched station?
Yes. I was in the pool with that had the unpatched stations. And that was a whole debacle, too. Because I told the refs, and at first they didn't know, or they thought I was wrong. And then they didn't care, and they wanted to fix it. And I went to play my first match, and I told the guy I was playing against, like, hey, these are unpatched. And he's like, oh, okay, we just won't play. So we agreed, and we weren't playing. And other people in our pool were playing, and we were going to refuse, just on principle, not to play it. And I was trying to figure out how to get patched. Like, I was trying to, like, I don't know. Like, Tom Brady walked by, I remember, and I told him, hey, this is unpatched. And at first he, like, didn't believe me. He acted like I didn't know what I was talking about. And then I showed him, and he's like, oh, whatever, just play on it.
Really?
And, yeah, he said that. And he was the one who, got Scorpion nerfed. That was the patch.
Mm-hmm.
So just playing on it. Eventually we sat around long enough, and it was actually Mr. Wizard, and I think it was Hector came and fixed it. Like, personally. Like, Hector got the system was unpatched. Like, he checked the hotfix and everything. But that was a huge hassle. Remember, I felt like that messed up my performance. I ended up losing my first match. I felt like I was just, like, all the stress of that, and because I don't do well in tournaments anyway, I get nervous. And then that's just exhausting, getting that fixed. And then you go and you're trying to focus on your match, and it's just...
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, I have a question. Do you think it's possible that the PS3s managed to stay connected to the internet? Because PS3s, which you guys may not know because you don't use them, PS3s, even if they're offline, if you're connected to the internet and something happens, like say on your friends list or something, it causes extreme lag. Really? So, yeah. So you should never be playing with them online.
It's possible.
Do you think maybe, because you patched it, of course, it ended up lagging more?
It's possible. I remember we played the first match, and it was a little laggy, not that bad. Like, I felt it, but I don't think like the people spectating could see it. Mm-hmm. And then I won, he switched stages, and it got worse. And I remember I lost that match, and I was thinking, I even looked over to Citizen Snips was watching, I'm like, which stage can I pick that will lag less? Like, I wasn't even thinking about which stage do I want. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to lag less. Mm-hmm. And then I chose Atlantis, which ended up being a bad choice, because it was just... I felt like stage had something to do with it. Because it, like, gradually got worse throughout the set. The third game was by far the worst. Mm-hmm. It could have been that, too, though. I don't know. I always just credited it to the PS3, because I've had... I feel like every time I play it on PS3, it's like Ares just, I think, makes the PlayStation laugh.
Yeah, Ares more than usual.
He's PS3 cancer.
Okay, well, I have a question for you guys. Do you think if they were to patch the Sinestro thing... well, first of all, have you guys ever tried it on PS4?
I have not.
What are you
It's
talking
awesome. It's
I
awesome.
can say I've tried it on PS4, and it runs more smoothly than either of the other consoles. And looks nicer.
It's so pretty.
So if there was a patch to fix the Sinestro thing, would you guys be okay? And then eventually, sticks and stuff and pads were made more
That would be
accessible.
my concern would be controllers, because I can't even get a stick right now.
hmm
You can probably mod one the same way you can mod one for Xbox by scrapping the controller.
Yeah, but let's just say it was considerably more accessible. Would you guys be willing to switch to PS4 eventually?
I have a PS4, and I actually really, really love the DualShock 4. I think it's the best controller right now.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And I
agree.
love playing on it, so I would have no problem doing that. I think as of right now, like of course in the current state, any next gen system would probably be a mistake to make the app, the
Standard?
the normal, the standard exactly.
Yeah.
But I think in the future, when they get things a little more hashed out, maybe get converters out. No, not at all.
I'm a proponent of running
Now-
on
now,
the system runs best. So if it runs better on the PS4, it looks better, I say use that.
I think it does. What do you think?
Maybe
Doug?
like a year down the road when sticks and stuff become more available, PS4 is a little bit more widespread. I would definitely support that.
Yeah.
Do you think it lags less on PS4 than anything else?
Yes, it absolutely runs the best
Mm-hmm.
on there. Like you said, the Sinestro thing, which if people don't know, when Sinestro hits you with downwind shackles, it doesn't combo.
It's okay. We don't like Sinestro players anyway, so
Yeah.
Right, who cares?
just one less matchup we have to worry about. So no biggie. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, we will not submit, Sinestro.
Yeah, it runs well. The DualShock's good. I prefer my PS1 pad, but the DualShock controller is amazing, especially for other games. But
On the PS4, does it lag when Cyborg is doing instant fireballs and they're blocking them?
Nope.
The Xbox does that consistently. Like if you're Cyborg and you do instant fireballs and they're blocking them, it lags.
there's no lag at all. It's great. It's so
Well,
nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem moving to it in the future. Like, I would do it now. Like, I wouldn't mind doing it now. Like, I already have the system and everything. But I understand that there's logistics to think about.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But just something for TOs to think about.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, for Injustice, because I don't know how long the game's going to live, I don't think it'll ever be the standard.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
That's just
The other
my
thing is, like,
opinion
the
on it.
Xbox version, like, if the PS4 version runs better, that's great. The Xbox version is acceptable, I think. The
Yeah, the
PS3
Xbox
version was,
version-
like, we had to switch. But the Xbox version,
Yeah.
I don't know. Any
Unless-
problems are pretty minor.
That's true. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we already have a working version, so
Yeah.
Hell, I'm just glad PS3 is done for. I mean, even in other games. I mean, this is not a us-only specific thing. The fact that Street Fighter 4 and Marvel had to be played on one stage to ensure that there's no lag, mind-boggling. Like, that's awful. Now, I know nobody really cares because they're playing for the tournament, but still, it's pretty fucking dull to have to watch every match be on the training stage with that dumbass music.
yeah. It was pretty prevalent on Marvel too, right?
Oh yeah, Marvel's the worst at it, yeah. Marvel, I remember like the Valhalla stage where there's a lot going on in the background. And if you lag in Marvel, because every conversion could possibly be death,
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
And even the training stage isn't fully, that's not foolproof.
Lightproof.
Yeah. Like, certain characters will mess up the thing. They'll basically pull a Cyrax, just fill the screen with so much garbage that has no choice but to lag.
Did you guys know that Cyrax could actually make the game lag on purpose?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pete Hahn, that's his favorite trick, apparently. He had a name for it. When I was still doing my podcast, he said the name for it, but he said that was a favorite of his, was just to make the screen fill up with junk. Just make it lag.
Yeah, and it becomes considerably harder to like avoid his stuff.
God, as if it wasn't already kind of hard to jump over a net.
Right.
Can we agree that was dumb?
What?
That it was kind of hard to jump over his net.
Yes.
Yes.
Stupid.
Same with like the force ball that Reptile had. I think it was
I
kind
thought it
of
was so-
dumb.
It wasn't
like-
nearly
I
as
thought that
bad.
was sort of the point.
that wasn't as bad. I agree because it didn't lead to as much damage.
Yeah. Well,
But
like,
still, I think it's annoying when you have like this projectile that the only reason you can't jump over it is because it's much bigger than it looks.
Plus, you had the bombs that made it so you had to jump,
True.
and then there's the net that you can't jump over well. Yeah.
yeah, it was just far too big for its own good, for what it was and what it gave him.
What it gave him, yeah, most definitely. Now, speaking of Mortal Kombat, I know, Lobo, was that your first fighting game? I don't think I've actually ever gotten the story as to like how you got into MK and our scene in general. Was that your first fighting game?
This is my first fighting game. I picked it up summer of that last summer it was alive. 2013, I guess. Yeah. And actually, what happened was Mr. E. You've met him. You've all met
Right.
him. And his brother Phil. They got into it somehow. I'm not even sure. I think one of them played it at a friend's house, just someone really casual happened to have it, and they saw it, and they're like, "Oh, that's really cool." And none of us have ever played fighting games at all. We're all like scrubs. And they got into it. They were playing it a lot. I just hang out with them. They're my friends. And they got into it. So I remember even going like, "Oh, a fighting game." Like, I didn't know anything about competitive fighting games. I thought they were just like, "Oh, you learn these big long combos. It's all execution, whatever." But they were playing it, so I sort of had to play it. And of course, I'm super competitive. So three of us got into it. We're playing competitively among ourselves. And then, of course, we found Test Your Might. Found out there was a local scene. Obviously, eventually made it out to a tournament. And yeah, so that's what happened.
Yeah.
This is when MK9 started fighting games, and that led to Injustice. And
I remember the first time that I saw you was you guys were streaming at somebody's house.
oh, that's right. Yeah, that was me.
That was I think you were house sitting, right?
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, that wasn't even my house. I was dog sitting, and I
Yeah,
hosted. Like Morty came over, and Ethan was there. Yeah,
Yeah, I just remember watching that stream
kitchen
and being
combat.
like, oh,
It's
more
kitchen background. Yeah,
kitchen combat.
Kitchen combat. I like it. Copyright it.
this is on the stream we're calling it.
Yeah, that was and I remember that all these guys came in at a time for the Arizona scene where we were kind of low on numbers. We weren't really sure how much longer it was going to be going on. But then all of a sudden, all these new guys came out of nowhere, like in the middle of like 2012. And we were like, well, all right, back on, I guess. And
good.
yeah, it lasted a little bit longer, pretty much all the way out until Injustice came out. So
Yeah, and
okay.
it look where it led you now, getting into MK.
Yeah.
Now you get to go on podcasts and talk about how bad your character is.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome,
Right, like everybody
It's
else.
all worth it.
And you get to talk to me.
right?
Well, he already did that at SCR.
Yeah, we met at SCR.
Oh, did we?
You were in my room for a long time.
Oh,
Damn, what a jerk.
Yeah, he was technically the host of the room where we were playing.
I don't know if I don't know if I said anything to you. I don't know.
Dan,
Probably
Dan, you
did.
went into his
I'm
room.
sure we
and you didn't even
interacted, like we were just in the room. Yeah, hotel
Oh.
shit going on.
know. I bet if you physically see him again, you'll know who he is.
Probably. I don't know.
I'm sure you will.
I will. Okay. Do you look pretty?
I'm very pretty.
Okay. I'll
Pretty
remember.
tall too.
Okay, then. It'll be okay.
Now, if you guys don't know, Lobo actually played Raiden and was a pretty staunch Raiden main. What did you think of Raiden at the end of the game?
At the time, I thought he was pretty good. I think I definitely asked about his top 10. Looking back, I'm not sure at all. I wasn't very good at Mortal Kombat. Even by the end, I was working hard. I just had a ton of catching up to do. Just about the game and fighting games, whatever. Looking back, I'm not stuck in. Not that good.
And I know,
I
Chef,
think I was
you
playing the
also
wrong
did
character
too.
too. After Evo last year, I remember I played Mortal Kombat at Evo. It was just like I hated it. Like I'm never playing it again. And for the longest time, I wouldn't touch it. But I'm playing it a little bit recently. And, I'm playing other characters. I'm sort of actually looking forward to it at CR. I think I'm going to play Freddy.
Ready?
I'm
I like
actually
that.
switching to Raiden. I'm going to use Raiden this SCR. Because, I don't know, somehow I just ended up on him. So, yeah, for some strange reason, I'm choosing a completely new character for a major this late in the game's life.
Use Kenshi. Use Kenshi. Use Kenshi. Use Kenshi.
Well, we all did that, and look how that turned out for us.
I don't care. Use
Remember,
Kenshi.
Chef told me that at the end of the tournament, and I thought that was hilarious. Me, Duck, and Chef all used Kenshi. We all got like 17.
We all tied for the exact same spot.
Damn.
And we couldn't settle who was the better Kenshi. It was literally a tie.
It's like, it was like 3 Kenshis that everybody was like, oh, you know, we gotta see how well they do, you know, and then it's just like, well, I don't know. Who knows?
Right.
Really. But, yeah, dude, I can't believe that was over a year ago already, and now it's time for the next one.
Now, yeah. On to the next one.
Yeah, SCR last year was so fun. I cannot wait.
Great tournament. Great tournament. So many fun moments. I mean, DJT's dad, my God.
Oh,
Remember that guy?
yeah.
Good Lord, that guy was hype.
Mr. Terry.
Yeah. He was like Coach Carter. Ridiculous. That's fucking racist, by the way. But still, it was amazing. Like, he was just, the whole time, remember, oh, you going to jail now. That was like, everyone was screaming that by the end of the tournament.
That was
I forgot
awesome.
about that.
Yeah. Because it died like right after that
Yeah.
tournament. And Tom Brady still says it now occasionally, but that was a big thing at that tournament. Oh, you going to jail now? Because he kept saying it out loud. And then I remember I asked him, because remember at the time, I don't know if he was doing it at EVO still, DJT was wearing those glasses. Remember those?
Sunglasses?
I think that was just SCR.
That was just SCR. No, they were like tactical SWAT glasses.
Yeah.
Those are weird.
Yeah,
Super
and
reflective and
I think I know what you're talking about.
so me and Evan were on the side and we're kind of going, I was like, did you see those glasses he's wearing? And he was like, yeah. I said, what do you think those are? And their dad happened to be right next to me, and he goes, them SWAT glasses, you see, because that means that they mean business. Meaning nothing gonna get in their eyes to distract them from what's the goal, you understand? And then he walked away. That was all he said. It was the weirdest thing. But it was like, okay, that makes perfect sense why he'd wear them now, I guess. Them SWAT glasses.
Means they mean business.
Right. So yeah, that's the SWAT glasses. That's what those were for. And it was a one-time only thing, really.
I guess so. They only
Didn't help him win the
business.
tournament either.
It helped DJT. He did fine, right?
Yeah, he got third. He got third.
Yeah.
Wild Cowboy got second.
Mr. EGP Tarrant got first.
Tarrant.
Yeah, that's what Michelangelo called him the year before that.
I think you said that on purpose to make him sound more black. That's fucking racist. Tarrant. Tarantosaurus Rex. You should call him that. Don't call him that.
I will not call him that. I think Brad has a bunch of names from like T-Money and like T-Rex. Weird names like that.
T-Rex. Call him T-Rex because of Jax's short arms. Hence his bad punch moves.
His punches were fine.
Yeah, they were fine. Yeah.
They were no
bad.
4 though.
I hated his little elbows that he did.
The back one or whatever.
The back one, and I think
was
his
it,
two. His
Two,
two
yeah.
was like elbows, and they looked really dumb.
Yeah.
What's the goofiest looking Mortal Kombat spring? I think it's easily the elbows one with Jax.
Oh, it had to be
Baraka's up 4, I think it was.
Ooh,
It was
that was
up 3. That drop kick thing.
it was up 4.
I think it was awesome.
I think it was Quan Chi's up 4. Looked pretty hilarious.
oh the one where he does like
Oh,
the
yeah.
low, right?
But, no, he jumps up in the air and does this like high kick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, little hop kick. Well, he thinks he's a Tekken or something. Dumb. That was dumb. What about what's the other one? Oh God, I can't think of it. Name more while I'm doing it. Kenshi's standing 3 looked hilarious.
Oh yeah.
He just
The awkward
kind of
stick.
kicks
Yeah.
awkward sidekick with his leg.
What was up for? That was
His
better.
up four was funny too. His up four was hilarious
His standing forwards too. Did you ever accidentally standing for someone?
all the time.
Yes. Oh yes.
All of his four moves
His
was
sweep.
hilarious.
His
The
sweep
sweep where he kicked you like standing.
It's like,
looks like the way a blind person would be walking forward. Like I would play online and troll people and go full screen, just sweep from full screen into their face. It was great.
Yeah, that's pretty much what his sweep would probably look like. He's kicking at what he can see, what he can think he can see. He's probably not going to sweep anyway. So I think it was accurate to give him a bad sweep.
isn't that what Lobo's sweep is actually called? Bad sweep.
Yes.
Yes. Lobo's sweep in this game is actually called bad sweep,
Inside joke.
and it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Who else had a great one? Raiden's down four looked funny.
Yeah. Like both of like that.
Yeah, and it hit
Like,
low
breakdancing
still.
or something. Yeah.
Raiden's 4-2-3 I thought looked kind of silly.
Yeah.
Poke and a little toe kick.
Made like a weird K shape.
Yeah, just a little toe kick. It wasn't much. A little toe kick. Ermac's up. I think it was up 4. It was kind of similar to Quan Chi's.
He's
Really
like,
extravagant overhead.
yeah, the overhead.
Yeah.
No, because Quan Chi had an overhead. I think that was up 3, but then
Yes.
But then his up 4 was the jump kick.
Right.
It's weirder. I know there was something that always looked really weird. Like, Raiden's forward, was it forward 2 where he did like the...
His overhead?
No,
Yeah.
like he...
Forward 2.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, not forward 2. I mean forward 1 or back 1, I think.
He's back
His
on
kick?
with the lightning hands.
Where he went like, he like pushed them, like boom.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 That one was kind of
And
weird.
back one, forward 2.
I loved his overhead. It looked so goofy. Where he raised his
Shiva's
leg
air
super
throw was
high.
really funny with it whipped. Like she does big long arms and just like waves one really quick. I don't know. And then if it hits, she grabs you by the foot and throws you down. But a whip, it's just like, what is that?
Kung Lao's little, like, 1,000 punches of 20. It's like 2-1, 1+2, yeah.
2-1-2-1-2.
Yeah. It's like, bah. His sounds are so obnoxious, too. Bah! Yeah, I hated him. Dude. Fucking Kung Lao.
Oh, I know. Easily the funniest strings in the game were like Sindel's, like her up 3
yeah.
where she did the handstand,
Yeah.
and then there was that one where she like I think it was up 4 where she did the splits midair and kind of floated for a second.
Oh, right.
Yes. Yeah.
Those
And
were
then her
pretty good.
levitate cancels, like down 4 levitate cancel.
That shit was hard to do.
I did it. I played her.
It just looked ridiculous.
She was one of my favorite characters.
She's dumb.
You're dumb.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Striker, I hated his little baton twirling ones. It was like dumb. Like it was like his back 1.
Back
He would
2.
twirl his back 2.
Mhm.
He would twirl his little baton and it looked super gay. But God, Striker balls. Nothing about him is cool. He looks like John Cena.
His win pose, when you don't do a fatality, was pretty cool. He just,
I
like,
agree.
throws the grenade back and just boom.
Goes all over his face. Like he gets like sinew and just dreck on his face and just doesn't even care.
Also, there was that one thing when you did 3 gunshots in one combo and he yelled, "Old school!"
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
That was pretty damn cool.
I didn't know you could do 3 in a combo. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was hard. You had to do like really specific setups, but as soon as you did it, he would yell, "Old school!" That character used to be so crazy in old MK games. Online
Yeah.
Tony had the most nuts striker in UMK3.
Did
Believe
he?
it or not. Yeah, we held UMK3 and MKDC at the major, conveniently titled West Coast Warzone 3.
Oh, right. The old one, yeah.
Yeah, and he won the whole thing with Striker. The footage is still up there, I think, on Strider Zero's channel. But dude, that fool is nuts. Tony's good at every single game that was like ever created.
It's just,
Primal Rage and shit. He can like infinite you.
you're like, wow, I didn't even know this game existed for today. Now I know.
Yep, pretty much.
Dude, West Coast Warzone, Now, the one thing I'll always remember that for was the last confrontation between Clockwork and Neo. And it was commentated by Justin and Dogface. First to 15, I believe.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but we were there for it. It was amazing.
Yeah. Big time crowd for it. I believe... Did Clockwork win it? I don't think he did.
No, I believe Neo won.
Yes.
But I could be wrong.
It was an interesting match. Definitely. End of an era. That was like the last big Marvel vs. Capcom 2 exhibition, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It was like a $50,000 money match or something like that, right?
Well, yeah, 50,000 with all side bets.
Yeah, combined, yeah.
But you can market it as 50,000.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do for this tournament. Filipino Man versus AK Goomba. $20,000 money match with all side bets. So AK, pay up and make this hype.
See if Reno has that much money.
Good lord. Is that man's pockets... Do they stop? He's getting mansions. He's flying players out.
I know. His generosity never stops. I'll tell you that much.
He's paying more people than sponsors.
I know, dude.
I remember at SCR last year, Reno Rax was in a room, and he bought pizza for everyone. And I thought that was pretty generous. But now all of a sudden, 10 cents. It's just...
He paid for my registration for SCR. He's awesome. No, the last one.
Oh.
Yeah, it was funny. Last year, actually, there was... I looked on the pre-reg list, and there was a Tyler Smith from Atlanta, Georgia, which happens to be... I don't know if you guys know that guy, Juggernaut. He's a mod on TYM. It was his name, and he's like never shown up for a tournament in like any game. So I messaged him and I was like, "Are you coming to SCR?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Dude, I caught you. You totally secretly tried to sign up, Tyler Smith from Georgia." And he's like, "No, dude, that's not me." And I didn't believe him. Turns out it was Ducky under the name Tyler Smith, and he signed up from Georgia because that's where Reno Rax is.
They usually under the name Tyler Smith as if that's not my name.
Whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I was confused. I'm like, did he do that on purpose? Like, he knew Jug's full name and was like, hey, this would be kind of funny. Which is the weirdest joke I've ever heard.
That would be hilarious, dude. We should do that one day. Sign up under someone else's name.
Yeah, what am I going to sign up under Evan Bourne and be like, hello, yes, I'm Evan Bourne, and I want to... Yeah, I don't think it would be that cool.
Talking people.
You have to sign up as like Rio or someone.
Oh yeah, it's got to be like
people aren't expecting Rio to be out.
Yeah, like Giuseppe Grosso, and then just like everybody's like, oh fuck.
Giuseppe Grosso. Didn't that happen at SCR though? I remember that. Like, there was talk of like
last
Rio
year
was
thought he was coming, and then he ended up not coming, or something like that.
Well, okay, the first year, he said he was coming, and Crazy went to the airport to pick him up, and he was waiting there for like an hour or 2 hours or something, and then Rio calls and he said, "No, wait, no, I didn't come."
Oh my god.
That's messed up, right? He said
that's perfect legend status. Right there.
He said, I got braces a few days ago, so it hurts too much. So I decided not to come. And he didn't even tell Crazy. And then the last year, the year after that, he told Storms. He said, "Yeah, I'm definitely 100% going."
Yes, I remember that, and he put it on the front page.
That's right. It was like front page, like confirmed, whatever.
Yep, and I think Tom said he was confirmed to go too.
I was gonna say last year, I think Tom and Rio were supposed to go, and then Tom didn't come because of like drama with him and Pig or something like that.
It was just Tom being Tom.
Yeah. I thought it had something to do with like Frosty Palestines. I don't know. I don't remember.
I remember Bit being on the phone with Brady half the time. It was awesome.
Yeah, that old gag. That happens all the time. I talked to Pig, and he said there was something going on with Tom. He was just being weird and didn't want to come. Because there was like drama before that in some topic, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was dumb, like most of the things involving.
Yeah, there's always something with Tom. You get used to it eventually.
Yeah, that's true. Got it. And then the other thing is you're thinking like, wait, East Coast guys would never show up to a West Coast tournament. Fuck out of here. When does that happen?
Never.
Exactly.
But shoutouts to the ones who are going to come
of course,
this year, like Jupiter and Rico.
Yeah.
Alright, just because nobody ever did it before doesn't mean they can't still do it now.
Yep.
And we think that.
Yep. Prove that you guys are willing to travel.
Yeah.
As lots of us have traveled, myself not included.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I guess
I'm on blast.
I am on blast.
I went to final round, so that counts.
That does count. That does
Saw
count.
the most spectacular ass beating of any team battle I've ever seen between VSM and GTA. Technically at them it was just the Chicago guys plus Morty and Detroit. That was bad.
We don't talk about that anymore.
No, we don't talk about that. That was also the first tournament where Pigs Kenshi really kind of showed up, and I think he ended up being second. Very, very strong performance. That would start. I think that was the first. That was his first top 8. Then he got like 1 million in the same year. Like, if there was a tournament and he was at it, he was probably gonna get top 8. That was that whole time period.
Yeah, I think he top 8'd nearly every single tournament that he went to, like, without fail.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I say pretty impressive. That's extremely impressive.
I think his streak didn't break again until like final round the next year.
Yeah, I think that's actually where it was. Where he lost to Jim and Cat. Oh, Cat.
Yeah, that was unexpected, let's be honest.
That was a little bit, yeah. And then he got super emo and was like, I'm never going to run streams again. Because then I won't play right because I had to go get a Verizon 4G card. And which sucks that he had to actually do that again for, what was it? NEC?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't be great on his pocketbook, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they have a lot of internet problems on the East Coast, have you noticed? It's weird.
Well, it's because they're in hotels.
Yeah.
It's like if you're on the University of Irvine, California, he already has a center set up to hold all that bandwidth, all that data. It's easy to run an internet. These hotels, though, they're gonna fuck you on the Wi-Fi because they don't know any better. They'll probably tell you they have something that they don't, and then it's up to you to figure out that problem. So, yeah, I don't
know
blame
if they
them
have
for
that many
having
problems. I think part of it is because there's so many more East Coast tournaments, and something's bound to go wrong at some of them eventually.
That's true.
Whereas here we have like 2 tournaments on the West Coast each year.
Does NCR
You're less
count?
likely to notice something going wrong.
It's like
it's just confirmation bias, easy to pick and choose.
Right.
Good point. It's like everybody thinks that East Coast players are better because they go to more majors. You can't have that double standard for saying that things go wrong more, too.
Yeah, you got a point. Because really, how many majors are there? This is actually an interesting debate they had. I think it was a topic on TYM.
What makes
what is a major? What is a major? And I think we got it narrowed down. I think people could point out the big ones. CEO, UFGT, SCR,
NEC.
NEC. And those would probably be the biggest majors before EVO. I mean, well, not all of them. Some of them are after EVO. But those would be, and then EVO would be the top. Then I think those other ones would constitute majors pretty easily.
Well, I think it's just one of those things that you can't label with words.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think it matters that much anyway, whether it's a major or not.
The only thing that matters is what they can charge.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's the problem. That's the real problem. Is some of these bum ass tournaments are doing the $45 entry fee, which is major status. I mean, that's what majors do. But everybody's trying to do that, and then that creates people don't want to travel anymore because it's way too expensive.
yeah, well, I mean, you should just. I don't think you should ever say, "Well, I did well at a major," and somebody say, "Well, no, that was just the regional." And you say,
Right, yeah.
"Oh, well, blah blah blah." Well, you should just say like, "Well, look who you beat at this major, and who was there, and how well you did, and just take everything, step by step." I mean, you should never label stuff, Just look at everything with an open mind.
Right.
Look how deep I am. Hashtag. Look at everything with an open mind. Hashtag BYS.
Or Japanese even.
Smart still gets blown up. Yeah. No, it's
Canada Cup, when that was still going, that was definitely a major. The amount of talent they got for international competition was extreme.
Well, we also got to say, we were discussing, there can be a tournament can be a major for a game, but not for every game.
That's very true too. Apex, Frosty Fausting.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Canada Cup. It was not a major for MK. I mean,
that's true. It was a major.
Yeah, you said that, and I'm like, who was there for MK? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
other games probably.
First place was Dink. Second place was Justin Wong. So like
That's a major.
Which, by the way, Ding barely won. Can we mention that there was a bracket reset with Justin?
Was there?
Yeah.
I just
Pretty
remember.
awesome.
Yeah, I just vaguely remember it.
That pre-patch rating didn't work. Not literally pre-patch, but the playstyle was pre-patch.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Uppercut.
Wasn't he
into-
complaining about rune traps after?
Yeah.
Dude, if I just got hit by a rune trap, dude, I'd be like, bullshit.
First time I ever into it in a major. That would suck.
And
Listen,
it cost
if you
me
had
some-
no idea that you could get 70% off of one block string, you
Right.
block one string and it turns into 70% damage, yeah, I'd be hella salty too.
Yeah, dude, I'd go nuts.
You had no idea about that?
And it costs you probably decent, a nice little bit of cash.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a decent pot, because it was Canada Cup, so they always put up the good money. So you're just like, oh my god. This is bullshit.
What else is
Yeah.
there?
Like, remember when Eric Warda was playing? And he legitimately didn't know 4-2-3. Maybe it was online Toady. They legitimately didn't know 4-2-3 Nomad Dash wasn't an infinite anymore. And was still doing it like it wasn't infinite.
I still think Cabals don't know, man.
You still think that?
Yeah, sure. They probably don't know. They're probably just like, I don't know, I'll just cancel stuff.
Probably. I mean, who really knows afraid of it? They just do
Yeah.
it.
Who
Nomad Dash.
cares?
As long as they're doing Nomad Dash cancel, it looks intimidating. They won't fuck
Exactly.
out.
That's half the game already. Oh. SCR. It's going to be a good time.
Mhm.
Everybody's got to come out. And Irvine, California, really nice place, actually. I actually had never even heard of it before I went there. But definitely nice place.
Yep, and the Salty Sweet, I guess we'll try to get cash on next week, but just for like a little short thing to talk about it. But it's the Salty Sweet's going to be at the Atrium, which is a close hotel. So, yeah, plan on that.
Is that the one that we were all in last year?
Yeah, that's where we were at last year. I booked our hotel for there next year. Or this SCR, we're going to be there again. So I think that's the recommended hotel. And that's where I'd recommend to go. It was nice last year. They have shuttles to the venue.
Nice.
Literally across the street from the airport.
Yeah.
But LAX, it's so expensive and so far.
Yeah. For those who are traveling, do not fly into LAX. Fly into John Wayne Airport. John Wayne Airport is across the
John
street.
Wayne Gacy.
Shut up. I would not suggest flying into that airport either.
What it was named after John Wayne Gacy. And the Gacy's in like really small print, like it's almost like, what if they did that? John Wayne Airport and then Gacy in parentheses.
I would do that.
Dude. Could you like, yes, John Wayne, yeah, Pilgrim. Oh shit. John Wayne Gacy? John Wayne Gacy.
His last words were "kiss my ass."
Really?
Yes.
The man's a national treasure. Him and Ted Bundy really are just charming men in
Charming.
bad situations.
Charming.
Dude, okay, maybe not John Wayne Gacy, but Ted Bundy was charming. That was kind of his gimmick, actually, as a serial killer. Like, he would charm you into thinking, like, yeah, you know what, that was his trait. Charm. And you'd be like, I don't know, maybe he's not a serial killer. I don't know. Right before he pulled the knife out and you were done.
He's got those tricks, those gimmicks. He's got those
Okay.
mix-ups.
Yes. The serial killer 50-50 mix-up. You let him in. Hey, this guy's pretty charming. I don't know. And you just get hit by it. Like, oh. I lost that coin flip. With
Would
my
he
life.
would he be like a Batgirl player?
He'd be someone more deadly. He'd be more of like a Cyrax. Because
Oh,
you'd
damn.
die.
That's true. I officially don't like him then. Damn Cyrex players.
Right. He probably did the anti-air pretty well. Like, to stop his victims from running away, they'd try to go up, like, they'd try to jump over and get up into the stairs. And down to the
No, man,
ground.
they'd like be backdashing and he'd do the meter burn, the
Ragdoll.
hit. Yeah, the meter burn ragdoll, catch their feet, flip them back over. Get over here.
Why are we
Like
talking
Scorpion.
about Ted Bundy doing the ragdoll?
So be hype.
Kinda. Not for the guy he's doing it to. Or lady, or whoever. I think that's a sign that we need to wrap it up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So next week's Wednesday Night Fights, this week, tomorrow's, I guess.
Nope, not today. We're recording this on Monday. It's
Shit,
2 days.
2 days from now.
Stay free.
By the time, I'm not going to stay free. By the time this is up, it will be tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, actually. It's 1.
That's true.
It's after midnight.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll stay free.
Wednesday Night Fight's going to be this week with special guest Arizona.
Really?
Now, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, sick.
He'll be there.
I want my run back.
If you want to run back, you're not going to get it.
Damn.
I'll deny it.
Damn.
But you probably get bodied by Immortal Angel before you get to me. So.
Okay. Now I really want that run back.
So that'll happen. And then Wednesday Night Fights. Winter Brawl apparently is coming up. Who knew?
Not me.
Not I.
What's wrong with the East Coast? They don't hype up their tournaments.
I mean, you obviously got to retaliate with that. I mean.
Yeah, I did actually in the thread, but.
And what was the result of that?
I don't know. Nothing. Some playing around the subject.
I don't know. We've got this podcast. We talk all about SCR, and it's not going to get front page. We don't get to hype our tournament up.
What's wrong with us?
I don't know.
Because we're
all
West
the other
Coast.
podcasts, there's like, I don't know how many now. Got front page.
There are several thousand, aren't there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shout outs to the 6 podcasts that came out this last week.
Yeah. You guys started a trend.
Did we start the trend?
We were
I think
trendsetters.
so.
Yeah, we started the trend. We're the
There was
best.
KTP, but that's been around forever. You guys started, and then, yep, all the other guys popped up.
Several thousand. We need a gimmick now, though. That's the problem, because we got to be able to distinguish ourselves.
You have me.
There's that podcast with Tom Brady and Perfect Legend. I thought that was going to be a direct response to you guys. That one episode where you spent the entire podcast bashing them, but they don't even mention you.
We didn't spend the entire time.
At least they didn't when I listened. I don't know. But I saw that, and I thought for sure you just pissed them off, and they had to get a podcast, start a full-on war. That would have been hype for SCR.
The sad thing is
they would
our
never have
gimmick-
come.
Dude,
You're right, they wouldn't.
the sad thing is that our gimmick isn't that we're just the West Coast podcast. People are
true.
like, oh, yeah, there's people. It's like, yo, look at all the other podcasts. Like, we're like the only West Coast voice, which I think is important, you know?
Well, Theo's in
Kept the
that.
bloodline pure.
Yeah, Theo is in that other podcast, but he's Theo. He'll be Theo. Trolling and such.
Talk about Bukakis and shit.
Yeah, he started that, and then Ducky's just a copier.
I didn't copy. He didn't ask people who fucking let do that. He just said, "Oh, Tom Brady got Bukaki."
And he just said it in a very dry, funny way.
Exactly. It was awesome.
That's probably the best part about Theo's humor when you talk to him, is that he says everything much like Detroit Ballin used to. Always the same type of voice. Neither a pitch raise nor a drop.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to kind of know that he's joking. Which is kind of the best humor sometimes, I think.
Theo is sort of like the Detroit of Injustice in a weird way.
Well, just the way he talks.
They have very similar personalities. They're both like they play online a lot. They play the best characters. And I don't know, they're just very similar people in a strange way.
Now all Theo needs is like a goatee. Be set. Oh, and he probably needs to get a Detroit Lions jersey or something like that.
If there's anywhere that Theo is not from, it's Detroit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like the type, actually.
Really?
Tell him to say it's so cold in the D. See how naturally it rolls off his tongue.
So cold in the deep.
That's right. All right. So, thanks everybody for listening to this rambling horse shit that we've been doing for the past couple hours. Hope you enjoyed it.
Let me shout out one more thing, real
All
quick.
right.
Yeah, look at that. I'm interrupting you. Last thing, I'm going to do Comic Combat again. The weekend, it's going to be the 16th. Sunday. Sorry, I had to check. It's going to be the 16th in Anaheim, California, again, at Fat Collectibles, PHAT Collectibles. It's going to be Mortal Kombat 9 and Injustice. We had a really good turnout last time. We had like 20 for each game, which was pretty damn good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately we skipped a month because I was so busy with work. But yeah, that's coming the 16th, and be ready for it. I'm gonna post the thread tomorrow, also along with this podcast. So yeah, hit me up or check out for the thread or the Facebook post and come to Anaheim.
I'll go to Anaheim just for that.
Thank you.
I will. Maybe.
All right.
Probably not.
I want to go.
You can't come, Ducky.
Why? Because I'd win it free?
Oh, Ducky's allowed.
You're just gonna get all my players arrested.
Damn. I probably would.
You would.
Good lord.
Anyway, you can close up now if you'd like.
Alright.
Let me do shout-outs real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Shout-outs to, all my guys on the Ares forums. In Flames, Dyslexic, Wannabe Player, Wayward Stranger.
Wannabe Player is my buddy.
Yeah, he's really cool. I like him. He kind of disappeared. I wish he'd post more again. I don't know, our Ares mod, Down for Reality. I don't know if he's still alive. I haven't seen him in a while. Big shout-outs to In Flames. He's a huge, tech guy. All of Ares really sick stuff that he does have. In Flames. Almost all of that. I had part of it. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I love you guys. Even if I switch to Bane, I'll still post in forums. You guys. But, yeah. I think that's it. I don't have any other chats. Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Yep.
No problem. I always enjoy your input. You're one of the best posters on TYM, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you'd be a perfect guest. And you were. You're a great guest.
Oh, but he also has one of the best avatars.
Oh, the Ares statue?
It's actually the actual statue of Ares. Yeah. Not exactly what you'd expect. A lot more girly. More feminine.
Ares, girly, that seems weird.
He does look like a little feminine character in the Roman statue.
That's really weird. He's kind of hardcore.
Black.
Or that, okay.
Fucking racist.
Fuels me.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he kind of sounds black when I think about it.
He looks black too. Well, I don't know if it's war paint, but under his mask, he looks.
Oh yeah. You know what sucks about it, and I know the reason why his face is black like that is because in the comics, and I'm sure they wanted to portray him that way in the game, you never see his face. You only see his red eyes. So he's one of those, those kind. He's like a Marvin the Martian type character.
They should have just done that instead of having the awkward black face.
But I think the way they designed the game, they have to have it in there, or else it wouldn't make it. It would just look dumb.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
sucks.
I think it looks awkward.
Because I know that's how they probably wanted him, but I think the logistics of it wouldn't allow. If it was a 2D game and you didn't have to show his face a lot, it'd probably be better. They could probably get away with it, but not so much here.
The lighting effects and stuff like that might have been more processor intensive too.
Yeah, that too.
And lighting and weird stuff like that. And he already makes the game lag. So.
Yeah, we always know that Ares needs to make the game lag more, right? So.
Of course, he didn't lag it enough. He needs to make the Xbox version lag.
Yeah,
that's his main goal now.
It's his trait. His trait is lag.
Right. What if to go along with his Marvin the Martian type look, he actually had that voice too? What if you threw him on the hand to me?
Oh my god, that'd be terrible. No, his voice is the best thing he has.
It's true. It's one of the best things he has. Where's the kaboom? What if he said that after a Godsmack? And it's only on whiff. What if he said only on whiff? With Godsmack.
Can we admit that the best Ares line is Aquaman and him clashing?
What does he say?
What's the exact Aquaman line? Something like,
"You're out of your league."
No, he's like, "You're not invincible," and he's like, "Oh, actually, I am."
Oh yeah.
I thought you meant the other one.
Actually, okay. Yeah. He's kind of trolly, which I think is kind of funny for an evil god.
Dude, gods are always trolly. It's like the rule.
Like Raiden. Raiden in MK1, the movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's all he did. He didn't even fight.
Just troll.
Because he knew he would blow their minds. That's the problem. Alright, before we make another reference and go off on a tangent, stop it here. This has been King Hippo.
Wonder Chef.
4x4lo8o.
Fuck you. I'm a dog. Okay.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, register for SCR. Go.
Yeah. The link's still there. Still going till February 16th. You only $35 to register, $10 per game. And with that, we are out of here.
See you guys later.